game balls and jock straps on the zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by 8 Caddies Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for game balls and jock straps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Join members of Birch Street Communities for the 19th Annual Expressions Art Show on Thursday, April 10th at the Hall in Little Rock. The exhibit and sale begins at 5:30 p.m. and includes live entertainment, food, drinks, and a live auction of premier artworks. All proceeds from the art sales go back to the artist. Tickets are only $25 and available at littlerockhall.com. The Birch Street Communities Expressions Art Show, Thursday, April 10th, 5:30 p.m. at the Hall.
Willie D's Rock and Roll Piano Bar open every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cold drinks and dueling pianos. Deep Nightclub downstairs hosts karaoke on Tuesdays and DJ Spin on Friday and Saturday nights. Visit WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 caller-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. I normally say, good afternoon, Mr. Rick Schaeffer, located in Northwest Arkansas. I'm Randy Rainwater from the capital city, but what a treat today. We have Rick in studio.
Well, number one, because you delayed a little longer than you have the last 2 days to come on, I knew you were here, so I just wanted to come and see if you were here.
No, I saved that for when you're back.
Yeah,
in Northwest Arkansas.
Okay, so I won't be on this show tomorrow. So Monday you're going to do that again. As soon as the music plays, bang, there you are.
Bang.
Okay, and the other thing is, yesterday at 5:04, all of a sudden everything crashed. I couldn't come on to help you. I don't know how you did the next 2 hours. I know you were off for a little bit, and I thought, well, I'm not just going to leave Randy by himself here in the studio, although I understand you've got some other people coming too, but didn't want to leave you alone, especially since we can't take callers.
And we still cannot take callers. Let's see.
But you can take feedback, right?
I can take feedback.
Okay.
I can take live fan
feedback. So send us your live fan feedback.
Yeah.
So Randy will have some questions for us here, although we can talk about a variety of things.
I just randomly picked this one, Rick.
Okay.
The quarterback, Dinwiddie, up under center, awaiting the snap from the 26-yard line of the Broncos. In motion now to the left is Jay Swilly. Under pressure, sack back at about the 19-yard line is Dinwiddie.
No, that's not the one we started with.
I was going to say, that is not a frequently played highlight.
No, that doesn't.
The Broncos, is that like Boise State or something?
Boise State, yeah.
A sack against Boise State, one of the most significant plays in Razorback history.
It really was at that particular moment. But, well, okay. I guess I started with this one then.
3rd down and 9.
No, I didn't start with that one. Well, I think the Lightning got my page.
Lightning got your page.
Because it is not showing up here. Now, this is an interesting page.
Yeah?
I could have played some from this particular page.
Okay, which page is that?
Let's see. This is Ole Miss, the original 7 overtime in 2001. This is.
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah, this is the original.
The original. There was
I
another
didn't
one
know.
after that?
Yeah, I don't
Or
like.
they did a phony one?
Yeah, they did a phony one. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Kenny Sandlin at 6'3", 313. Hogs are up there. One back set. Matt Jones. The give is to Cobbs. Cobbs at the 10. Cobbs at the 5. Touchdown! Arkansas!
And then if you're Houston Nut, you don't call the ball. You call the quarterback sneak. You hand the ball off to Cedric Cobbs, who does a great job of bouncing around the corner. Everybody's expecting the quarterback sneak. Your fastest player in that backfield, Cedric Cobbs, 16 yards for the TD.
Now, that would be interesting when Keith Jackson just said that's the fastest player in the Arkansas backfield. Wouldn't Matt Jones, the quarterback?
Yeah, that would be
That
really
would have been
interesting
a
to
great
see them
foot race, yeah.
Because Cobbs at his best was awfully fast, but so was Matt Jones. Jones would outstride him. Cobbs might have beat him. I don't know. It would have been really close.
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah, really good.
I don't think at that time any of us realized truly how fast he was. And I'm talking about Matt Jones.
Yeah, well, think about that game. I don't know if he even played in regulation. If he did, he played a little bit in the fourth quarter.
I don't remember him playing any in regulation.
But he played the whole overtime.
Yeah, yes, he did.
And we got to see how fast he was. Or maybe he just had fresher legs than anybody else at that point.
No, he was fast.
Yeah,
he was fast. There were a couple of times that, particularly when Matt, I think he scored a couple of touchdowns in the overtime process. And Marcus, and I've told this story before, Marcus and I were standing on the Arkansas sideline. Mm-hmm. And when they, meaning Arkansas, was going towards that end zone, Matt would come right flying by us, and you could see angles. The defensive backs for Ole Miss, even if they had the angle, still couldn't catch him. I'm not sure they ever touched him, but anyway.
You know what's interesting about that, and we talk about history a lot, and Snoring Bob, you haven't said anything about him lately. Maybe he just
he's still snoring.
He might have snored himself into oblivion
snoring.
where we never hear from him anymore, but that's 20 years ago now. That's just hard to imagine, because anytime you hear Paul Eels, to you and I, that's still very familiar, and to many of our listeners, that's very familiar. But his last season was, 2005, I think? And then 06, Mike Nail did it for a year, and then from 07 on, it's been Chuck. Isn't that something? It's hard to believe that's been 20 years.
Oh, time moves quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And, again, for those that are just now tuning in, if you want to call in, you can talk to Kramer all you'd like to. But it will never make it from that studio in there into this studio.
Well, you could ask Kramer, tell him what you want us to answer, and then he could come in and tell us, right? Huh?
If we're going to depend upon Kramer to deliver the message.
Well, you got to turn this mic on. That mic doesn't work.
Yeah, this is Kramer. I've never talked to him on the phone, but I've never met him in person. So, hi, Kramer. Nice to see you.
Yeah, that microphone doesn't work in there either, so I'm just kind
of... Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm just watching the streams
and
stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what's on the streams. Is there any major questions? Anything we need to talk about?
Nothing yet, because we just got all the streams back within the last hour. So all the YouTube, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, all that stuff. So
did you get the field too? And then you have field and stream?
Yeah, we do have the field and the streams, and we're playing country and Western music.
Really?
Wait a minute.
That's great.
Somebody.
Hey, the buzzer doesn't work. All right. I'm coming more often.
Gary got my email.
Gosh.
I did not sabotage the buzzer.
There.
It's so much louder in person, isn't it?
Yeah.
There. Wow.
Yeah, you guys can call in all you want, but it's just going to be me hanging out with you for a while.
Well, call in, tell Kramer, you want to ask something, you can ask him. You got the live fan feedback. Do people know how to do that?
We think they do.
Okay, all right.
We think they do.
Any other questions on the live fan feedback?
I guess this one applies to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
If it will load.
Okay.
Well, I think that's the reason why. Oh, there it is.
It won't load because it's about me. That's great. Okay.
All right, from a D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line, given the opportunity to watch a game in every stadium in a league, which league are you choosing? I guess that really is not specifically for you. NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. Without a doubt, to me, MLB, even though I'd love to go to some of the legendary stadiums. I have been to a couple in the National Football League. And I've been to several.
But
in
you haven't been to
MLB,
Green Bay.
But I haven't been to Green Bay.
So I figured that wouldn't that be your
Yeah.
choice to go to Green Bay?
I don't know.
You've been to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, but I'd still like to go to Boston.
Okay,
But I
so
like to go to Boston. I'd love to go to L.A. I mean, there's a lot of stadiums I still like to. I've been to St. Louis.
Sounds like a world tour needs to happen.
Great
well,
place.
I will tell you that other than our church, Cross Church in Northwest Arkansas, Camden Yards is my favorite place to go. I love going to Camden Yards. I can't tell you why. It's just addictive. I love being there. My wife are going in May, and I got to go 4 times last year. It was great, and I'm looking forward to going to Kansas City to see the Orioles and the Royals this weekend. But I've never been to an NFL game, and it's not like I'd be that enchanted to go. But we're not far from Kansas City, and I understand where the Chiefs game in their stadium is really an amazing experience.
It
and
really
in fact,
is.
we have neighbors that have been Chiefs season ticket holders for 38 years. And they lived in Kansas City. They moved to Little Rock. He was still working here. They still went to every game. Now they live in Fayetteville. They go to every Chiefs game. And so they've told me just how absolutely fabulous it is. They have friends. In fact, they just got back from a weekend 2 weekends ago that people that sit next to them had some family deal, and they said, why don't you come up and join us? So it's kind of like you're part of the family, but they say their games are just great, and that stadium's so if I were answering that question, I'd probably like to go to one of their games because I've been to so many other places, and I get a chance to go to Baltimore every now and then. So you ought to pick Green Bay. You've never been.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Chris Turnage could get you a ticket to Green Bay.
when I read that, I interpreted that to mean like you would visit all of the stadiums, not just one.
Oh, of all of them?
Yeah, all the stadiums.
Oh, so if you picked a sport, well, I love baseball. It'd be baseball for me, but I wouldn't want to go to all of them. But I've also never seen a National Hockey League game. And I'm told
I have
that
seen
if-
it. I've seen an NHL game.
that if you understand the game, it's also an absolutely phenomenal experience.
Where we happened to be, Trey Shapp and I, our tickets were right behind the net.
Yeah?
And that's where the action is. And it is really cool.
Yeah.
I would not normally say that. In fact, this was during a Cotton Bowl.
Oh,
and
you could get tickets to the Dallas team.
what they did
Yeah.
is the media were given
Yeah.
tickets. So we went and watched the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Dallas Mavericks, and we got to watch the LeBron James.
Yeah.
Well, what? Oh, I missed about 2 minutes. I said 4:15, and here it is. Here it is.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
4:17.
Am I here?
Well,
You're on.
and I meant to start the show this way, Randy. We should say this. So last night, my wife showed me a picture on social media of the tornado near Jonesboro.
Oh my
and,
goodness!
And I guess
Wow.
hit some towns in that area. We're watching Fox News that night. There it is, and they're showing it, a video of it. And so we just should start the program by saying, yes, whatever got hit by the lightning got hit by lightning, which
Lake
is
City.
why we can't take your calls. But for those who are affected by that monster tornado, we are.
I mean,
our
it's
prayers are
total
definitely for you.
devastation.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hope nobody was anybody hurt or any casualties.
I did not hear of any casualties.
I haven't heard that.
But
You know, we're not like David and Roger. We don't talk about movies on the show. But one of my favorite movies is a little less than a year ago, and I hate to say that. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's the movie Twisters. And maybe it's because of the chemistry between the Glenn Powell and the female lead. It's really good. They don't even kiss at the end, but you can tell they like each other. But it's fascinating because they go right into them. And even watching that video last night of the tornado that was not the picture, but the video, that's what storm chasers do. They go right close. They get close to them. And it's just absolutely fascinating to see that. But it also, even the movie depicts the devastation after they're over. And I just don't know. I've never been through one. I know a lot of our listeners have. I can't imagine what it's like.
my closest adventure was a couple of years ago, the one that came through Little Rock. It was a block away.
From here or your house?
And no, they're in my new home.
Okay, so not the studio.
No.
Yeah.
No, in fact, back again telling war stories, so to speak, right there in that particular chair that you're standing beside was where Houston Nutt was setting that particular night. And tornadoes began where they typically begin here in central Arkansas. They'll begin out on Interstate 30, and they'll go right down, almost down the freeway. And this one dipped inside, went down Main Street. For those that they'll remember this from years ago. There was a Safeway. This probably was like 19th and Main, something like that. Totally destroyed it, wiped it out.
Wow.
And I remember Coach Nutt and I, because sirens are going off, and Fitz may have been right there. Who knows? I can't remember. I just remember Coach Nutt being right there. And we sat there through that tornado, because this happened like between 6 and 6:30 or 6:45, something like that. And when you get on a straight line, that's probably 2 miles from here.
Wow.
And then the most recent tornado that came down Cantrell, and then it bounced and went across the river and destroyed part of Burns Park. And then it kept on bouncing, but eventually made its way to Wynn. I think that was the same.
Oh, wow. The one that tore down Wynn High School?
Yes.
Wow.
But the major destruction we had here in central Arkansas. But that's when I joked with you that, pardon me, I moved down on a Tuesday. I moved from Searcy to Little Rock on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
3 days later, here I am sitting, thank goodness, in my dungeon, which I now appreciate as being almost like a storm shelter.
Yeah.
But I could hear it a block away.
Wow.
My neighbors had her huge front tree in the front yard fall on her house, but that was from the wind. That was not from the tornado itself. But that just tells you how strong it was.
Well, I can tell you, since we have 3 hours to talk and nobody can call us and we can tell these stories, I got two quick ones. One, when I was a kid, this shows you how stupid I can be and how stupid all of us can be. We were in our house. We lived on 62nd Street, this in Oklahoma City, and MacArthur was the main drive. And on TV, they came on and said a tornado's been spotted at 63rd in MacArthur. Well, that's a block from our house. Dumb me, I went out because I wanted to see it. Well, as it turned out, it was up in the air, so you really couldn't see it very well. But the other one is, okay, so there was a guy that used to do radio in Enid, Oklahoma, and his name was Vince Larson. And he spoke very deliberately, just like this. And he didn't see very well, but he did OU baseball at that time, University of Oklahoma, and then he did Enid High School, football, basketball, that kind of stuff. And he was such a great salesman. He would do junior high games. He'd do all these things. And then when he'd get to the site, whoever was somebody new, he'd just say, hey, you want to come be the color guy tonight? He said, sure. And so they're doing an Enid game one night, and the guy's with him, and sirens go off, and they have to vacate the building. And so it gets down, and he's going over who scored how many points, while everybody else is gone. So it's just him and this guy sitting here. And Vince, after he gives all these numbers, he turns to the guy and he says, would you like to make any other comments? And he says, yeah, Vince, I'm getting a blank out. And he ran off. Just two of them in there while there's tornado sirens going on.
Well, so super quick. So, Lewis Campbell's we're going for the Final Four. This was 6 years ago. So it's Stedman who played football, and then my other cousin John Murphy played baseball at Arkansas. And so we're going to the Final Four, and everyone knows you fly Southwest, they're going to take off in anything. So
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so there's tornadoes, kind of the Oklahoma, which would be the path. And the pilot gets on and said, "We're going to go up and around." Well, by the time he went up and around, it's when it hit the Midwest and there were tornadoes everywhere.
Oh, my gosh.
So a lot of people don't know this. Tornado clouds you can't fly over. They go up 70,000 feet. So it's not like a storm cloud. And he said, get ready. It's going to be rough. And I'm talking it was the most horrifying experience. I mean, it was the constant opening, turbulence. It was turbulence, severe turbulence for 3.5 hours. They took 4 people out. Ambulance came in. That's how bad the turbulence was.
Wow.
And you could tell once he made that turn and said, we're stuck, like there was nothing he could do. If he turned back around, you're still going to hit the same thing, so you might as well keep going. But it was terrifying.
Why did he go up in the first place? He had to know. That's just and the pilot. I always figure if I'm in an airplane, the pilot knows his life is at stake too.
Sure.
So I always feel pretty safe. But why would you go up in that? No one.
Well, because he said he's going to go up past Kansas and he's going to miss it totally, but it had moved so quickly. But see, I just know because I have a buddy that he used to fly for Southwest, flies for Delta, and he said Southwest schedule, they're going to fly.
That's why your friend now flies for Delta?
Yeah. Which is good and bad. There's good and bad about wanting to keep us, because sometimes they cancel flights for no reason. But that's the reputation Southwest has. So.
Wow. Goodness.
Well, since we're telling airline stories, we were coming back from Outback Bowl, maybe, and we left Atlanta, and we were trying to land, obviously, in Little Rock. But the storms, and it was the wind, and we could not land in Little Rock. They sent us back to Atlanta. We finally got to land in Atlanta. Then we got back on the plane, tried to come back again to Little Rock, same thing. The winds were too strong. That was the longest night. And the winds I swear there had to be a 3-foot drop that you just go from one altitude, the next minute it'd either be going down or I could throw you up. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. And now, do you want to hear my 5th grade story about
Oh,
about
sure,
tornado?
yeah. Hey, we only got a couple minutes for the breaks. You can tell that story, and then we can come back and talk. Since Mark's here, we can talk about the Final Four if you want.
So what I wanted to do in this real quick remaining minute of this segment is, since we're talking weather, why don't you give us an update, Rick, as much as you know about what we believe could possibly happen tomorrow with Arkansas baseball.
This is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough weekend because it's supposed to rain the whole weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Obviously, I've looked ahead because I'm going to go to Kansas City, and Friday and Saturday, heavy chances of rain there. But Sunday, it's not. It's also cooler. Excuse me. Temperatures are going to be considerably cooler. But you got to just think they're going to work and see if there are windows to play. Now, Wes Moore was here before we were, and he was saying it looks like Friday night in Fayetteville may be okay. You're not going to play a doubleheader on Friday night.
No, you're
just not going to do that.
You can't start a game after midnight.
So you play one game. Well, maybe they could start at 5 and play 2, but they'll play that game. Saturday's looking bleak. Sunday, I don't know. If they can work in a doubleheader at some point, they will. And, in the SEC, if they say Sunday's wiped out, can you play a doubleheader Saturday? They will. But you're playing, and it doesn't matter. I know the worst team can beat the best team, but this is a team that hadn't won a game.
Oh, my gosh.
You want to get these games in.
0-9 in the SEC, Missouri.
But it's going to be tough.
Their record is horrible. Their statistics are awful. All right, Drive Time Sports will continue.
Hey everybody, it's Howie at Robert Owen Jewelers. Shop now and pay later. Get up to 12 months interest-free or take up to 60 months to pay at a low APR. And now offering ASEMA lease-to-own financing. Bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices, or online at rijewelers.com.
Do wings your way at Slim Chickens. We're talking perfectly fried bone-in wings. Choose from 10 different flavors, like our Cayenne Ranch Dry Rub or Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Always delicious for lunch or dinner. And if you need to feed a hungry crowd, Slim's has you covered, with party trays that are perfect for the big game. No matter who you are, be bold and find your flavor at Slim Chickens. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
It's Get Out of the House season. Get out of your house and head to Cabot Outdoors for their open house this Friday and Saturday. Grab a bite to eat and wash it down with terrific pricing on lawn equipment. Get $600 off the Hustler Raptor series and get a free 60-volt DeWalt blower, or the Hustler Fast Track or larger and get a free 2200-watt Hustler generator. Plus 10% off steel gas-powered products this Friday and Saturday at Cabot Outdoors, 901 South Pine Street, Cabot, or Cabot Outdoors on Facebook.
whatever you're doing this weekend. If it doesn't involve fast horses, daily doubles, high fives, and corned beef sandwiches, you may be doing it wrong. Every weekend through May 3rd, Oaklawn has live thoroughbred racing. Whether your Oaklawn is cheering from the home stretch, dining in the Bugler restaurant, or raising a glass at the First Turn bar, your race day is whatever you want it to be. Make reservations today at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bradford Marine and ATV announces huge factory discounts on non-current inventory, which means you can save thousands of dollars. Free custom boat cover on both Ranger and Nitro boats in stock with purchase of a Tracker or Ranger boat, and can get a free Bass Pro gift card up to $2,000. Hurry in while selection is great. Be smart, buy now, and save, save, save. Stop your wishing and get to fishing. Come visit your local Bradford Marine and ATV today at any of their 6 statewide locations. Your local Tracker dealer.
Introducing Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks, a club that's fun, full of adventure, and open to anyone. Just pick up a free passport at any state park visitor center and start exploring. With every state park you visit, you get a stamp. When you get all 52 stamps, you're in the club. And you get some pretty cool rewards along the way. So grab your passport and start exploring. Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks. Get out to get in.
Brought to you by this station and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
Chicago Cubs pitcher and Conway native Jordan Wicks gets in the zone with Justin and DJ each week. Brought to you by Crane Buick GMC of Conway. Crane serves with the best customer service, whether you shop online or visit in person. Crane Buick GMC of Conway. Stop by today.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where there's only one thing Randy and Rick like better than talking sports, and that's biting into some fresh crawfish with all the fixins at any Eat My Catfish location. Drive Time Sports, tapped with refreshing sports opinion on the Buzz Radio Network.
Okay, welcome back to Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. I hope that was fast enough for Rick when we got back. There was very few seconds that actually played of the music before we came back on. Well,
yeah, speed it up, Randy. Come on.
Here is currently what's, by the way, no Neal Atkinson today for obvious reasons. He can't call in. But here on Bet Saracen, I'm just looking at what all they have to offer. Good gracious. NCAA men's specials, Houston Cougars, Duke Blue Devils. Let's see what that says.
I'm going to guess Duke's favored.
Duke and Houston to combine for less than 75 points in each half. Oh, combined. That'd be like 37.5 and 37.5.
Houston's so good.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to figure out which microphone you're on, Bart. Try it again.
Because Houston's so good defensively.
Yeah, they are. They are.
They're going to make Duke work for everything.
They are. Each team to score 60-plus points in the game. Each team to score 60-plus points in game. So that, okay. And then each team to score less than 75 points in each game. So that's just one of the many props they've got available. There's another one, first basket in the Duke Houston game. Let's see, top point scores. That's regardless. Who's going to be the top scorer? It's going to be Walter Clayton of Florida. It's going to be Cooper Flagg of Duke. There's others that you can select from. Let's see. Florida Gators. Okay, so got all of those. The Exacta specials. The bracket Buster Boost. And then you've got NCAA Women's. Don't forget that. That's ongoing as well. The Final Four is ongoing there as well. Then you got NBA specials, NFL, NHL. Not NFL. NHL, MLB. All kinds of offerings you'll find on Bet Saracen. Go online, and that's betsaracen.com. But go get the app in the App Store. It's quite simple. Yep. And, boy, a lot of good stuff there.
Randy, could you parlay the Final Four?
Don't ask me.
But, I mean, if you could, Bet Saracen has it.
Oh, absolutely.
Their app is fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, Rick, because we were having emergency warnings go out
That's great.
Our actual listening audience. Now, the streaming audience.
They heard everything.
They heard everything. So,
Okay.
streaming audience, close your ears for a moment. Rick's going to update our actual.
But it might be
listening
better this
audience.
time.
You know, if those emergency signals came off and they're close to us, do I need to repeat my Vince Larson story? And we need to get the heck out of here. No, no, I don't know if we'll do that. Okay, so a lot of rain in the northwest Arkansas area this weekend. I'm looking already at tomorrow. It's supposed to rain all day. On my cell phone, the latest I can get is 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's still 60% chance of rain tomorrow. As Wes Moore was leaving, he said the forecast he looked at said Friday night there's still a good chance that the rain will stop. They could get a game in on Friday night. Saturday and Sunday, the chances 90% Saturday, 70% Sunday. Sunday obviously would have to be a day game. I don't know what Missouri's travel plans are anymore. If you fly charter, or if they're busing.
They're busing.
If they're busing from Columbia, then obviously the bus could leave as late as you needed to. So you might wait as long as possible. But as we were saying before we left the air, Missouri's 0-9 in the SEC, and Arkansas is 8-1. And some of the other teams they're tied with Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee for the league lead. And I think two of them have already played Missouri. So you don't want to lose a series with Missouri. Not that they can't beat you, but you better be ready. But you want to get those games in, and particularly when you look at the second half of the SEC season, the schedule is so much more difficult for Arkansas than the first half is. Everyone's difficult, but wow, you sure want to get these games in if you can.
And I don't think, Rick, you can correct me, pardon me upon this. If you happen to have a series rained out, there is no makeups. I've never seen a makeup.
No, there aren't any makeup games in the SEC. And let's say you play two, and this is one thing Wes was saying we were talking about before he left too. Let's say you play two of them and win them both, but somebody finishes a half game ahead of you because they played all their games and you didn't. You don't get any chance to rectify that.
No. You finish a half a game
right
behind whoever it may be that might have been ahead of you.
Yeah.
This is, what term do we use for this thing? This is on our streaming.
Yeah,
service.
it's all the different comments from YouTube, Facebook, and all that. So it's just the streaming comments.
Okay.
That?
This from Matthew.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. Rick and RR in the studio together. What a treat. Well, make that decision later on tonight before you make that decision.
Thank you for calling it a treat. It is believable. It's a 2 hour and 45-minute drive, and that's what it'll be back to. So
and it's a lot warmer than the last time you guys did a show together because y'all were outside at the.
Oh my gosh!
The
Springdale High School. Yeah, so we were, and we could have been inside except it was too loud. That's the only thing. That lounge there where they have. The problem was it was a tournament, and that was their hospitality suite, so people were talking and milling around, eating everything. It was cold. Yeah.
I was watching from in here, and anytime you guys could, you start rubbing your arms, rubbing your legs. I was like, oh, you poor guys.
Randy didn't tell me we were going to be outside. I didn't even bring a jacket. Oh.
I'm out there
I
did not know.
Freezing.
I did not know exactly where they would have us positioned. Had I known that, I would have brought my coat.
You know, I worked in the Springdale School District for 15 years doing public relations, and that's where they stuck us. Isn't that something?
It was cold.
You should have left on better terms.
It was cold. That's all I did. Okay, let's see. Let's dig into a couple of these D3 Auto Sales Bus text line. Can someone, this is Boss Hog, can someone tell Mike Anderson to call his signee in his last class at St. John, 6'9", Axel Lindenborg, to call those Hogs his top player in the portal. He is the top player in the portal. He wasn't kept by Patino. Had games with 30 points and 20 rebounds. Mike Anderson discovered him in JUCO. He's from Jersey, so Wagner and Richmond might know him.
So he must have eligibility left. So if he was Mike's last signee, Patino's been there 2 years, so if he's got eligibility, that's great. So I heard, Bill Ingram was on with Wes and Joe, and I was listening to that coming in, and he was talking about a guy that's leaving Arizona State that
big time,
that was going to go to Kentucky until Calipari left.
Winstance or something like that.
That sounds like the guy to go after.
Yeah. Oh, he's big time.
You know him, Bart?
Yeah, he's really, really good. I think
Isn't he coming off of an ACL injury?
Yep, pretty serious knee injury.
Well, when did he have it?
They said he'd be ready by fall.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's
All
so
right.
and these guys are coming back, thanks to places like Martin Orthopedics. They're ACLs used to be the death curse of
Well,
a player.
at least
Now
a
they're-
year, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and now they're coming back almost stronger than what they were before.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be ready to roll. The question is, does Coach Cal have room on the roster?
That's not good.
Yes, he had 4 cadavers this year, and 2 of them are leaving.
That's
so that means he's got at least 2 spots.
Yep.
And
There's a cadaver. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you out there.
and I don't mean it that way. Obviously, as you're reading about those 2 guys leaving, they both had other opportunities. They both played elsewhere. It just didn't work at Arkansas. I'm assuming they were told coming in that they probably wouldn't play much, but they'd at least have a full scholarship.
Yep.
Wait, I'm new to sports. Cadavers is not the official term for the people sitting on the bench.
Only at Arkansas this year.
No, not if they have hope of getting off the bench. No, you don't call them that.
And listen, some people would be okay with
Oh,
saying
full
you have a
scholarship,
full
practice
scholarship.
every day?
Absolutely.
And how about a guy, let's say, okay, Jimmy Dykes at Arkansas hardly ever played. His most famous story is Eddie Sutton signaled to him, he thought he was going to come in the game, and it turned out that one of the starters blew a shoe, and he needed Jimmy's shoe. And so he didn't play very much, but he later coached and was an analyst and all that kind of stuff. If a guy is interested in coaching, to hang around that program for a year would be a big deal.
Absolutely.
But that would be the only reason.
Right.
Although unless you didn't have anywhere else to go, you get on full scholarship and you get to experience that atmosphere.
For what it's worth, this is some more information on Lindenborg, Axel Lindenborg. Come to find out, the last couple of years he's been playing at UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Okay.
Entered the transfer portal Monday afternoon, declaring for the NBA draft after 2 great seasons at UAB. Averaged almost 17.7, almost 18 points a game, 52% shooting from the field, 36% from threes, 76% from the free throw line, 11.4 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.8 blocks, 1.7 steals, averaged 34 minutes across 37 games for the Blazers this past season, earned back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year.
And that's the guy that was at St. John's under Mike?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so he obviously still has some eligibility then.
Yes, and I tell you, I always like to see who else
is Arkansas
interested. Arkansas, yes, they were one of the first to reach out.
Okay.
Alabama, Auburn, BYU, Georgetown, Kentucky, Memphis, Michigan, and Ole Miss. So pretty good list.
This is like an SEC game when you're recruiting against all those guys trying to get him to come.
Yep. And with Big Z, people don't realize he had some bad games, but he had some really great games. When you look at his end-of-year stat line, it's pretty impressive. So we need somebody to make up for his 2 block shots that he
6'9", 240.
Big Z led Arkansas in scoring 5 times during that stretch when after they started 0-5. And one of them was against Alabama, which they lost. But there were games he scored 20 points, or games he was hitting threes, games he was blocking shots. The issue with him became, as the longer the season went, people figured he was easy to get around.
Yeah.
If he was back there and he had a chance, he might block your shot. But if you brought him out on the floor, he couldn't get back to cover.
Do you think because of his size, because of his abilities, when he was playing lower level, he was kind of coasting because he could do anything he wanted? Then he started getting around SEC caliber people. You saw the weakness immediately. That's why he started concentrating on everything else.
Physically is where he just started getting outmatched.
But he did have his best games in the SEC.
Okay.
And here's
including
the thing.
against Kentucky at Kentucky.
Absolutely. What still holds true, doesn't matter whether it's 50 years ago or today, the one for sure way to mess up a good game is foul trouble. And he is constantly in foul trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
But he led the team in three-point shoots, 38% three-point shooter. So he was a legitimate threat inside and outside. He was just really inconsistent.
So Kevin McPherson feels like that was a mutual decision. If it was, okay, that means Cal must think he's got somebody better coming. Where do you think Z will go?
Well, I hope he doesn't go in the SEC, because if he ever gets the physical, because when you watch his brother play, he's more physical.
And that's where I'm thinking he may end up, Illinois.
Yes, and that's what I was just about to say. That makes them really dangerous because they're pretty good. already, and he could give them another dimension, and I think they have the bigger players to bang, and he can kind of be more of a perimeter type of big.
All right, Bart, I got another name for you, and I made this.
I thought Bart likes the name he has.
No, I can't use those names.
Oh, okay.
But this name, I confess, I don't know how I missed him in the high school process. I know, speaking of Kevin McPherson, he spoke of him. So when we come back, I want you to talk about Lamar Wilkerson by way of Ashdown.
Okay.
I did not realize, this kid put together fantastic year at Sam Houston State. And he is another one of those highly regarded young men that's in the portal right now. And but we'll talk about him when we come back. All right, Rick Schaeffer, Bart Reed, Pure Sweat Basketball Skills.
Catch the buzz on all of our social media platforms, presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. They specialize in custom in-ground pools. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Hi folks, it's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sherwood. When you're in the market for a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram, we hope you give us a chance to earn your business. Here's some things to consider. Fletcher Dodge has been family-owned dealer here in Sherwood for over 25 years. We know how to take care of our customers to keep them coming back. Every Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram dealer pays the same price for their vehicles. It's the dealer that makes the difference. We'll give you the best deal up front. No haggling, no arguing. We make it easy to buy a new vehicle, and we'll pay you more for your trade-in. Compare our deal to anybody's, and you'll buy from us. Come see us today for the deal of a lifetime on new Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram. At Frank Fletcher Dodge, you'll always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. And we promise you a hassle-free buying experience. We want to be your dealer for life. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Just tell us what you're looking for and we'll make you a deal. Come see us in person at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
Welcome to Moe's! Hey guys, this is Brandon with Moe's Southwest Grill. We welcome you in for the freshest Tex-Mex you'll find outside of your own garden. Check us out on Moe Mondays, where we have bowls and burritos starting at $7.99. And remember, your kids always eat free with us on Sundays. Let Moe's cater your next event. Schedule online at Moe's.com. And while you're there, download our app for weekly specials. Stop by anytime, where you'll always get the freshest Tex-Mex, and you'll always hear us say, welcome to Moe's!
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports in the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat My Catfish, now serving the spiciest cooked crawfish in Central Arkansas. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. The #1 sports radio show in Arkansas. Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports. Here on the Buzz Radio Network, Rick Schaeffer, Bart Reed. Thanks again to Martin Orthopedics. I'm Randy Rainwater. Double B's, gas it, grab it, and go. This might be the day to definitely gas it, grab it, and go because of good old Mother Nature, but maybe she'll cooperate with you if you stop in. I mean, they've got these protective roofs, if you will, at the pump, so you don't have to worry about, well, unless the wind's blowing and blowing rain. But outside of that, it's a safe place. And they've also got some great specials you can take advantage of, whether it's the Great Core Water. Coach Curry is calling me as we speak. I guess we didn't find him after all.
Well, if he's trying to get in the back door, I couldn't open the back door.
That's right. The back door is stuck. So
even pushing that
yes, even
door,
the button.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And by the way, Randy, I stopped at Double B's, and I told them I knew you, and they didn't take B's, but they did charge me double because I said I knew you.
Yeah.
I saw that when you
great,
came in.
great thing to know. I'll pass that on. Next
Don't
time,
use Randy's name.
Next
at
time they
Double
will
B's.
triple the price instead of just doubling the price. 20-ounce Gatorade, 2 for $4. You should have bought these instead of what you did.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have known then. 28-ounce Gatorade, 2 for $5. And then they've got the Great Hostess bag of donuts special I talk about all the time, 2 for $10. Find all that good stuff at Double B's, where you gas it, grab it, and go make it Double B's.
Is only Ray supposed to bring those Hostess donuts? Bart's not that wasn't assigned to him. Because I noticed he came in empty-handed.
I did
so,
come in,
yeah.
but I love the donuts.
Bart does way to me. I mean, when he really, if his wife won't say no to him to go in the Double B's, I will, because he needs to be supervised.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Oh,
Y'all made a trip.
it was embarrassing.
He came in with $930 worth of stuff.
Because it was at least an hour before he finally got out to
the
the car. I thought he was going to be late going to Fayetteville that particular day. All right, Bart, we talked about this young man just a moment ago, right before the break. Talk about this young man all the way from dear old Ashdown.
So he's had a great career. I thought he was a senior. So knowing, I did not know that he had eligibility left.
Yeah.
But
he's a junior, actually.
Okay.
6'5", 205 junior.
Okay. So 20 points a game. He had 52 three-point shots. And, of course, he was a great player in high school. Very physical guard, gets in the lane. But if you look at his stat line, 4 assists, I mean, this is a big-time player. Went to Three Rivers, so junior college guy, that I would say happens. You see this happen sometime in college. In high school, they didn't have the consistency with the three-point shot. But you go to college, you develop that. That's exactly what Lamar did. Hit 52 threes. I think he hit 47 last year, and has just had a really storied career and is a big-time basketball player. And I think he can play anywhere he wants to. High basketball IQ. And one of these guys, that basketball's been so great in Arkansas. And I was just talking about Luke Moore to a friend of mine. Luke Moore might be the best player you've never heard of, a lot like Lamar was out of Central going to UCA.
Out of Central, yeah.
And it's just sometimes they get overlooked because we have these high-profile, or have had, 4- or 5-star players.
Well, in these days, if you're not a 4- or 5-star player, you're not going to get recruited by an SEC school.
That's right.
And so your best bet is, if he's that good, I hate to say this for UCA, but if he goes there and he's great, well, then somebody's going to recruit him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, you have Cam Hunter that was UCA.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like...
Didn't he go to Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. He's coming back to UCA.
Oh, great.
Really?
Yep, which I think is great for UCA. He was the A-Sun Freshman of the Year. So it's good for Cam to come back home, be close to me, get back in the gym. So it's good to see I like to see the Arkansas kids come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It looks like the majority of the guys thus far that Arkansas is recruiting through the transfer portal are big guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be the...
Well, they got 2 great guards coming.
Yeah,
and if DJ Wagner does come back, you got another good guard coming. They need some size. That's their biggest need.
Yeah, because you lose Z, and then you obviously lose Adu. So that's big shoes to fill.
And that's much ado about something.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. This one, Boss Hog says, top guy in the portal is... okay, I've got just a picture to go by. That is the young man from Arizona State.
But he just went in yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is Quinstance. I'm not sure how you exactly say his name. So,
and what's the cutoff? Sorry, Randy. For NBA draft pullout, is it the 20th of May?
Well, if it's later, the transfer portal ends on April 22nd, I believe it is.
Okay.
And so if you can So in other words, you're talking about a guy that could go either way.
Yeah.
If you get him and then a month later he says, "No, I'm going to the NBA," that wouldn't be a good deal, would it?
No. And that would be my, because I don't think this year, but that would be Coach Cal when you get him, because you've got those type of players. I think that's one thing that kind of worry about with recruiting, because he's got a lot of borderline, do I go, do I not go type of players.
Well, there's a guy that's not going to, I don't think, go to the NBA. So my wife looks at Facebook. I never look at Facebook. I do look at Twitter or X sometimes, and she shows me this picture of, here, this guy, Trevin Brazil, has announced he's still staying at Arkansas. I've seen nobody else ever mention that, so I'm going to figure that was a phony post, but I got to believe that's his best option right now, isn't it?
I would sure hope so, especially the way he ended the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, he made drastic improvements. Not that he didn't have the game before, but I think shows Coach Cal's system fits him. He would be crazy to leave.
Yeah. Whole year. He needs a whole year of being healthy. He's been there for 4 years. He's played college basketball and never had one season where he was totally healthy.
Yeah.
And healthy, I think he's
motivated.
Yeah. Healthy and motivated.
Yeah.
He's got top 15
healthy
draft
and
talent.
motivated. All right, let's catch up again on some of this other stuff we got here. This is from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. Love seeing Rick on. Look forward to an amazing show. Boy, you're in for a shock.
It's been pretty good so far. We've just had nice conversation.
That's true.
And you know what? If you want to know, if someone is going to know every minute of the next weekend's weather, it's Chris Curry, who just came in here, because a baseball guy has to know the weather, right? Yeah. Are you playing at home this weekend or on the road?
We're at home, and newsflash, it's raining.
Yeah, right now.
Yes,
but you won't play till tomorrow, right? Or do you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Actually, we've already been moved to Sunday, Monday. We have an option in the Ohio Valley Conference for weather like this, where you can declare before a series starts a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or, believe it or not, Eastern Illinois and Tennessee Martin did a Thursday, Friday. They played a doubleheader today at 10 and are finishing the series tomorrow at 10 a.m. to beat this rain that is on the way up there.
Wow.
And so weather report, rain, hope it stops Saturday night. Cold, north wind 10 to 15 on Sunday.
Temperatures are down.
Sunny on Monday, 60s.
Oh, good.
So let's play ball.
Let's play ball.
There you go.
Yeah, Chris told me earlier today that this may be as bizarre of I guess you can call it reversal, that normally goes on when you're covering the field. For those that are not totally aware, the infield at Gary Hogan is artificial turf. Outfield is grass. So the outfield is covered. So the way that they're going to get the water off of the turf is to what? I mean, off the grass, is they're going to put the water onto the artificial turf. Have you ever heard of that before?
Well, he has, but nobody else has, right?
Yes. So our left field, kind of, for those of you that grew up in Little Rock, old Kerr and Conway, it sits down in a bowl. And right field has some crown to it and some slope where it will drain off overnight. And so there's nowhere for the left field water to go. So we just took the tarp, which I'm not sure it was there when I got the job. I'm not sure why it was ever there. Maybe it predates the synthetic turf that's on the infield. But we just took that tarp, put it in the outfield, and actually today there was a break around 1:30, and we did what we call a tarp dump. And so the first round of water, it's thousands of gallons, we dumped it on the infield, and it just disappeared right through the synthetic turf. And now we're going to take this round of rain tomorrow and dump that.
Yes, we're looking out the window. There's more to come, yeah.
Yes, sir. No question.
And I don't know of any ballpark, including Major League ballparks, where you can see a spot where the left fielder normally stands, center fielder normally stands, right field. That's kind of what you're bearing. That's your spot as an outfielder. You find your bearing by the spot that's out on the field. So you got to protect it in particular. All right, stay with us. Hour number 2, straight ahead.
If you already scheduled your garage door tune-up for just $79, please disregard this message. If you don't have a garage door, you're off the hook. For the rest of you, why would you spend more than just $79? Overhead Door Company of Little Rock will perform their garage door tune-up and safety inspection for just $79 on up to 3 garage doors and openers. Call 501-510-6399 or schedule online. Overheaddooroflittlerock.com.
When you do something for over 45 years, you get really good at it. Like Lyle here. He's been playing ping pong for over 45 years. Hitting a ball with his paddle, he can ring the doorbell, zip up his wife's dress,
Thanks, hon.
even start the family car, all with a flick of his wrist. Excellent shot, Lyle. We're a lot like Lyle playing ping pong, except we do it with insurance. Williamson Insurance, protecting your business and your family for over 45 years.
The Red White Report is brought to you daily on the Zone by Ortho Now, your walk-in solution for orthopedic care at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UMS Health.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
We know it, and we're proud of it. 103.7 The Buzz.
Insure your auto, home, life, and everything in between with Shelter Insurance. Find a local agent by calling 1-800-SHELTER or at shelterinsurance.com.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Tickets are on sale now for the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th at the downtown Riverside RV Park. Sample great barbecue from incredible cooks from all over Arkansas. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Buzzarita Pavilion for a cold drink and some great live music from Bree Ogden and Bad Habits Jack Bennett. Brought to you by Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th. Go to buzzbq.com for tickets.
Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville is having their annual sale April 5th through the 11th. 50% off in-stock patio furniture, 20% off pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, hot tub accessories, in-stock ledge lounger furniture, PK grills, and special Fisco furniture orders. Special pricing on in-stock hot tubs and get 0% interest for 36 months on hot tubs the week of the sale only. Luxury Pool and Spa is also giving away a Fantasy Entice hot tub along with Pentair pool products during the sale. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. As a fan of dogs, Mrs. Pigskin and I always watch the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Nearly always, though, the big winners are the frou-frou dogs that look like dust mops, whose pedigrees and ridiculous haircuts would result in them being mocked at the dog park. But this year, regular dogs like a Schnauzer, a Whippet, a Terrier, and a German Shepherd were the winners. Good for them. And good for all the mutts everywhere who add spice to our lives. Now I have to convince my wife why I need to emulate the legendary Randy Rainwater and have 47 dogs of my own. Double B's is where convenience and value coalesce. In a hurry, you can pay at the pump with your Exxon or Phillips 66 mobile apps. Need some cash? All Double B's have ATMs. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
Tickets are on sale now for the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th at the downtown Riverside RV Park. Sample great barbecue from incredible cooks from all over Arkansas. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Buzzarita Pavilion for a cold drink and some great live music from Bree Ogden and Bad Habits Jack Bennett. Brought to you by Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th. Go to buzzbq.com for tickets.
Chris Kane joins Morning Mayhem each Monday to mix it up with the guys. Chris Kane on Morning Mayhem is presented by Trader Bill's. Trader Bill's, your one-stop shop for all things lake.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Dan Cook in North Little Rock, Steve Fisher in Stuttgart, or Jay Vandover in Little Rock.
Clint Turner here for the Low T Center. Look, it's not if, it's when, fellas. Are you nearing 40 years old, running low on energy, lacking motivation? Low T Center's where it's at, man. Get started with testosterone replacement therapy today. It's time to get your TRT rolling and get back to being your best. It's convenient. Low T Center, they have clinics all over Arkansas, man. They're easy to get to and well worth the effort to make it happen. Walk in, see a real medical provider, and get a treatment plan that's customized specifically to you. You want to be treated in a clinic, or do you want to be treated at home? With Low T Center, you choose. The quality remains. top notch. Right now's the time, fellas. April only, you can get a free consultation at Low T Center. If you qualify, treatment is covered by most major insurance. So, fellas, if you're feeling off, tired, no energy, moody, just not able to get it done, now's the time. I was there, man. Low T Center changed the game for me. If you need to lose a little weight, Low T has you covered there as well with prescription weight loss options. Don't wait, fellas. Now's the time. Get back to living your best life. Your family deserves it. You deserve it. Low T Center can make it happen. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Simple, quick, and no doubt worth it.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Every project is an opportunity, and every John Deere tractor is built for rising to the challenge. The Down-to-Earth package is built for breaking new ground. The Greenway Special is built for cutting time, not corners. And the Weekend Warrior is built for those who give it everything, even on their days off. It's your time and your land. Let Greenway help you make the most of it with 0% financing for 7 years. Visit GoGreenway.com to get started. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2025.
Hey, you want to know what really happened here in Hot Springs? I'm not close, but there's a guy at 510 Central Avenue in Hot Springs, a wise guy. He'll tell you all you need to know, but not enough to get you whacked. You'll hope. The Gangster Museum of America, TGMOA.com.
Experience the rich history of America's first resort at the Gangster Museum of America and the Hattery. Check out the Gangster Museum of America, 510 Central Avenue, 501-318-1717, or visit us at tgmoa.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 collar-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 2 of Drive Time Sports. See, I did...
you're fast. Oh, that was so clever. You did that to be funny.
Just for you, Rick.
Yeah,
just for you.
Thank you.
Yes, in studio. That voice that you hear is Rick Schaeffer.
See, Chris, what he does to me when I'm up in Fayetteville is that music plays and plays and plays, and I start thinking, surely he's there. Surely he's not. He's there. And then he comes on. So I remind him now he comes on as soon as the music comes on.
Gotcha.
Just to make me feel bad.
We're back in the old days now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, back in the old days, nobody can even call. In the old days, people could call you, but nobody can call.
That's what
today.
I was saying.
Wow.
That was one of the things I rattled on about yesterday.
Yeah.
Was in my 35 years that I've been here at this radio station, we have never been without phone lines. Never. Now, back in the beginning, there was no such thing as a tie line. And there was no such thing as any of the digital stuff that we got.
Well, now they play overtime. They don't have ties.
Yeah, exactly. And back then, I didn't have this buzzer as close to myself as I have it now. But
you can move it if you'd like.
No, it's quite comfortable where it's setting.
Thank you.
But it really reminds me, on the other hand, back, and I've used this reference many times, we had 13 listeners. And I felt like we had 13 listeners back 35 years ago.
I think we have more than that.
35 years ago, back when on the AM. And so, anyway, if you got someone wanted to call back in 2-3 times on the show, well, welcome back.
That's right.
You're welcome back. Bart Reed,
By the way, you've been here 35 years. I forgot about this, but Tuesday was 23 years I've been with you.
Absolutely happy.
Yeah, I joined the show on April 1st. It's been a joke on everybody ever since.
It's a long time.
Joined also by Bart Reed. It's now Martin Orthopedics.
It's time for the Basketball Insider in Arkansas. It's Bart Reed, made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village, staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care. Now, here's Bart.
Now here's Chris sitting there listening to that 6-minute introduction you just had for Bart. That is one of the longest introductions ever. Have you got something for Chris today?
I start saying over here looking.
Well, we're also glad to have Chris Curry with us, right?
Well, no introduction needed. No introduction needed.
Actually,
just glad to be here.
If you want to count the oversight we had when you started talking to him before I was getting ready to introduce him.
I did that,
yeah,
didn't I?
So you really didn't give me a whole lot of choice in that regard.
I apologize.
But we are now joined by
My
Chris
fault.
Curry, head baseball coach of the Little Rock Trojans. He's already given you a weather report. He has already talked about in the Ohio Valley they can have different option days. For those that may not know this, SEC, you can start a series on Thursday, but you cannot extend it into Monday.
Well, and if you start on Thursday, I don't think you can play Sunday. I think you got 3 days to play.
3 days to play.
That's it. Yeah.
And if you end up having to play a double hitter on Sunday, they have to be 2 7-inning games. So,
And you know what else we've already learned from Chris? If your backyard is flooded, put it in buckets and go dump it on his AstroTurf.
We can handle thousands of gallons per hour.
So, Chris, you have to tell a basketball guy why the rules. Why, if you start on, can you not finish, and why can you not make up games?
Different rules for different conferences.
It also has to do with travel for the student athletes and the amount of nights you're on the road for a baseball weekend. It's 3 nights in a hotel. You're usually going to miss one of those days in class, and so typically we will travel on a Thursday after class if we're on the road. We'll practice that night at our opponent's, kind of like a shoot-around for a basketball guy. We'll practice that night, and then we'll play the series Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we need to be home for Monday class. And so it's a student-athlete travel issue, but the Ohio Valley, because weather is such an issue, it stretches up into Illinois. We as coaches suggested in the off-season, and now it's already playing out, that what if we get torrential rain on the front end of a series, but it's nice on Monday. It's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, whether you miss Friday class or Monday class. And the athletic directors have to okay it, but as long as you're just missing three days of travel.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Absolute. And that also meant that you push back by a day the game that was scheduled between yourself, Little Rock, and UCA.
It was, and that's another student-athlete welfare. I talked with Nick Harlan, and they're in the exact same scenario. They announced their series pushback. I don't know if they're going into Monday. You may know. I believe they actually are.
Yes,
I know they are
they
now
are.
because that's why Nick and I talked about it. And so that both teams did not play 4 games in 3 days. We get Tuesday off, which Monday is our normal day off, as you know. And so we both play on Wednesday, and then we both, in the same scenario, have to hop on the bus to go on road trips. They have a long one. We go to Moorhead, Kentucky. And so we'll get a little break right now, but once we play Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday, play at UCA Wednesday, bus Thursday morning. And so there are a lot of variables. While it's good on the front end because we have been decimated by injury, on the back end it's going to shorten the rest for our starting pitching because Jackson Wells, our Friday night opening day starter, is not going to throw until Sunday. Well, that gives him 2 days of rest on the front end, but on the back end, that's only going to give him 5 days of rest, which in the major leagues is normal, but not for a college pitcher. And then that'll continue to domino on into your Sunday starter. But that's part of it. Everybody's going through it, and so we'll have to manage the pitch counts and the bullpens. And like you mentioned, we may play that third game, a 7-inning game, which we have an option in our league, just to manage the bullpens.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level college and major leagues is becoming like football. You've got to give daily injury updates.
Yes.
Why is that? Why, when we're growing up, when Randy and I were growing up, we're the oldest guys in here, and you're watching Willie Mays didn't miss games. Henry Aaron didn't miss games. Mickey Mantle got hurt a little bit, but you'd see these guys that would play out of back then 154 games, they'd play 150 of them. What's changed? What has changed where so many, not but a few, but so many guys are getting hurt playing baseball? Not just pitchers' arms, regular players.
I believe, first of all, and you're a baseball historian, but the complete games that used to be thrown, those are forever gone, the number of them, because of pitch counts.
Sure.
And, what did they used to throw? 150, 160 pitches, no problem. But I have also heard from older baseball, they really...
They pace themselves.
And so the velocity of a pitcher at the end of a major league game may be down in the low to mid-80s, and he may just be using change of speeds, change-ups, curveballs, sink, slider. Now they are specialists, and they are told to come in, throw as hard as they can for as long as they can until they run out of gas, and then they pass the ball to the next pitcher. And so those relievers are, left-on-left specialists. They're coming to get one hitter. They're coming in to get three hitters at the most, and there's a sixth-inning man, a seventh-inning man, an eighth, and a ninth. I did hear one pitching coach say, in regard to the amount of injuries now, not as many pitchers train at maximum velocity in between starts. Everything is a touch and feel, a nice and easy bullpen. And then on game day with adrenaline, you ask your arm to go full speed and kind of redline it, and you got to be built for that. And that's why God made the arm to swing down and underneath by your knee. That's why a softball pitcher can throw over and over. He did not make the arm to go fast over. So it is a matter of time before your arm breaks down. That's why Nolan Ryan's such an anomaly, even in the mid 40s. That's the latest. Now I think there were some guys that pitched in their 50s, but maybe they were knuckleballers and maybe they were throwing in the low 80s.
Yeah, I mean not into their 50s, but Hoyt Wilhelm and Phil Necro were in their late 40s, but that's what they were knuckleball pitchers.
Correct.
Wilbur Wood, those kind of guys, they did that. Well, then maybe there ought to be more submarine pitchers, huh?
They last longer, and I love them as a head coach because those guys are available every day. We have one from Australia and Josh Beasley, and every day I ask our pitching coach Brady Cox, is he available? Yes, sir, every day. And so it's a nice safety blanket there.
All right, Chris, since we have such latitude today on this program,
we do.
We can just
you can read live fan feedback, but other than that, we're just kind of talking,
bouncing all over the walls.
Yeah.
Okay. Reed started out playing travel baseball. And
you want to tell our listeners who Reed is? We know
who he is. Okay, that's my stepson.
Thank you. Okay, good.
And he and other pitchers, they could throw a fastball and a changeup. Then as they got older, they kept adding on the repertoire. And I do admit, by the time he got to about 16 or so, I was now starting to hear names of pitches that we used to call a whole different term. So, do you as a coach, do you have to take this course every year so that you understand? Good example, the latest one is the sweeper.
Yeah.
So for all of us that have no idea what a sweeper means besides taking a broom.
Speak for yourself. Some of us know what it is. But anyway,
I know what a sweeper is, but I want Chris to describe a sweeper. Because I'm sure back in the day we called it something else. In fact, we didn't actually call a slider anything but a hard curve.
That's right. Well, as the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
And all pitches have been thrown or tried. And there's only so much you can do with the human arm with a baseball. There's the gyro ball. There's the Fernando Valenzuela. He threw the
screwball like Carl Hubble.
Screwball, which he pronated his hand.
I never could get my arm to do that.
On the inside, that would be, his arm was just built different. the conversation you're talking about is the old school versus new school in baseball, and there's a little bit of they're kind of against each other right now, and the old school says that this is not new. We used to call it a sinker, the sweeper or the slider or the hard curve. The sweeper is side to side, and then the old Uncle Charlie curve is up and down, or 12 to 6 on the face of a clock. And so the ball is still doing the same thing, but we are communicating it differently with kids. And if you put a new name on it, well, then you invented it, or so we all think. And so what you have to do is, as a coach, you adapt or die, right? So you have to learn the new technology, and that's why you hire young, really smart assistant coaches like I have, and I lean over and I say, what does he mean by sweeper? And then he'll say, it's a hard slider. Or I'll watch a pitch in the bullpen, and the coach will say, that's a good sweeper there, and I lean over and go, oh, that's a hard slider. And so at the end of the day, I don't care what we call it as long as we get somebody out.
Why does terminology always has to change? I can turn to Bart and I can tell you the one that just drives me nuts is in basketball you can score the ball. What the crud else are you going to score? You're going to throw your shorts in there or what? You score the ball. Now, whoever came up with that also came up with sweeper. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, the same. There's some guy up there that's doing this to every sport. Okay, you're going to score the ball. You ever hear that in football? Did you get a touchdown? Did you score the ball? Nobody ever says that.
I knew I could find this. There's another new one that's going to be coming out. You'll probably have to learn that one soon, Chris.
The kick change pitch.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's the new one. The kick change up. Yeah.
I'll have to research this. That's
the newest one. That's newer than the sweeper.
What's the kick change?
That is the latest one.
I think it's Major League Baseball players make so much money that if there's a quarter on the floor, they just kick it. They kick their change. They don't keep it.
I saw a diagram of. Not a diagram. I saw a picture of a pitcher holding the ball and the grip he was using. I said this the other day. I said, well, that looks like what we used to call a knuckle curve.
Yeah.
Or a spiked breaking ball where you dig your fingernail into the seam.
Did that, yes.
And your pointer finger is bent, and then you use your middle finger to torque or pull down on the backside of the baseball. And that would be an old term knuckle curve, yes.
So is the drop what we used to call the drop ball?
Yes.
Is that the sinker?
No, I believe, and you guys may correct me, I think a drop ball is a 12-6 curveball.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
The sinker or the power sinker is still there. But see, baseball always adjusts to itself. And so when Maddox was pitching, when Glavine was pitching in the 90s in the Braves, they were using the sinker baller. Now, one thing about Greg Maddux you have to understand is when he first came up and was signed, he threw 95. But he did not do well at that velocity. And he got with a minor league pitching coach who said, you need to add and subtract some velocity to the baseball and learn movement. And that's when his career really took off, is when he learned, there's the front hip two-seamer. And there's another one. And so that means if a right-handed pitcher, Maddox, you can YouTube this. The best one, he throws it at the front hip of a left-handed hitter, and then it runs back out over the plate. But they really used the changeup in the 90s. But the sinker ball was popular in the 90s and early 2000s, and then we learned about spin rate, which I think Nolan Ryan, Bob Gibson. Does the ball actually rise? No, but it does hold plane because of backspin and lift and carry. And it got very popular to pitch at the top of the zone. And so then baseball adjusts to itself, and hitters started learning how to get on top of the ball. Well, now the sinker is back. And if you have a sinker, hitters are not used to that. And I'm talking more professional baseball, but baseball always adjusts to itself, and there's this cat and mouse always with hitters.
Speaking of great pitching, so I'm a huge Mets fan.
Yeah.
And Dwight Gooden was I just love his overall movement.
He was amazing.
Just the fluidity of it.
Yeah.
So there's a special on the Mets, and how he described the difference between his fastball and curveball was so easy. It's basically the same grip. He said he choked it less, and I'm like, what? Really? Because there's all this. We're talking about all this stuff, and he basically just loosened his grip to throw his curveball.
Yes, one of the better curveballs ever.
And that's it. So is that natural talent, or is that
an unbelievable amount of God-given ability that he walked in the door with? Number one,
I saw him pitch. It was very believable.
I did not mean to use that word. I'm sorry.
Chris, you walked right into that
one.
You walked right into that fastball. You should have had your hitter's hat on.
I apologize, Rick.
It's okay, Chris. You can watch any sporting event, and you're going to hear on TV. You're going to hear that word at least 5 times. So
I know.
I get it.
I'm a frequent listener, and I understand.
Oh my gosh.
I understand
Drives me nuts.
your relationship with the word unbelievable. But Doc Gooden was a special talent.
Yeah.
And so when he grabbed a baseball, it came out of his hand differently, and the ability to just change the grip and make the ball. There's another phrase, tunneling. And there's some videos out there where they overlay Doc Gooden's fastball with his curveball, and he threw a 12-6, quote, drop ball. And to a hitter, from the hitter view, it would come out of the same release point out of his hand,
right?
And the fastball would stay up and carry, and the curveball would go straight down, and that's at 95 to 100.
Couldn't get a read.
That's unfair.
It is unfair, and that's why he was so special. And then the velocities. You know, if you're an old base, you remember the old radar gun, the jugs.
Yeah.
Well, are pitchers throwing harder than ever? Maybe, but maybe we're measuring it differently. You know, out of the hand, which is where they measure the ball now, it might be going at 100. The ball slows down. And so in the old days, they used to measure the velocity at home plate. And so by the time it got to the hitter, it wasn't going 100. Plus, the baseballs now the seams are flatter. There's less drag. And so the ball can actually fly faster, more like a golf ball.
So does that mean it spins more?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And there's more home runs.
Yeah.
There's more velocity.
The spin power.
Yes.
Have you seen fastball?
Yes.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I've seen it, but Bob Feller was clocked at 98.6, and nobody else was ever even close to that for a long time, although Feller said he thought Walter Johnson threw faster than he did.
Right.
Okay, 98.6, but the way that was clocked was obviously antiquated. So this thing, fastball, they went back with all these things and figured out that he probably, at the fastest, probably threw about 108.
Yes.
And Nolan Ryan, I think, was around 118 or maybe even 120, something like that at peak. And you think, talking about throwing that fastball how many times a game.
Right.
And he's throwing it that way. And so now you see a guy that hits 105, I think, is about the fastest that anybody's clocked at now. It just shows you that, yes, that's fast, but there have been some guys that have been even faster in the past.
Absolutely. And you know, Bob Gibson's one, and there are others, you know, that were throwing 100. They just measured it differently. What was amazing about Nolan Ryan, my favorite all-time player, was he knew that his elbow was torn, and he was going to have Tommy John anyway at the end of the season. Pitched through it, and either threw a complete game and was throwing 90 miles an hour and finished the game because he said, I'm getting surgery at the end of the year anyway. But those days are long gone.
This was his last year, right?
I believe
he never had an arm injury until
later.
At Toronto, it blew. I didn't know he knew it was going to blow anyway, and he blew it, came out, never pitched again.
He knew he had, as the term goes, popped his elbow, and he knew he would need surgery anyway, so he just kept pitching and still got hitters
By the
out.
way, one guy did pitch in his 50s. Satchel Paige was 59, and he threw 3 scoreless innings against the Boston Red Sox for the Kansas City A's. They used it as a promotion to get people to come.
Right.
59 years old, he threw 3 scoreless
That is
innings.
amazing.
Different
59
era.
They think he was 59. He might have been 70. Nobody knows for sure.
That's true. You going to hang around a while longer?
Sure.
Okay.
He's having fun. I can tell.
You can't do anything else except sweep water.
Let this rain roll through Little Rock before I get on the road.
Drive Time Sports will continue.
The Zone Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by Jim's Razorback Pizza with 2 locations, Highway 10 past Table Loop and just off the Morgan Mall Mill exit.
Hey everybody, it's Howie at Robert Owen Jewelers. Shop now and pay later. Get up to 12 months interest-free or take up to 60 months to pay at a low APR. And now offering ASEMA lease-to-own financing. Bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices, or online at rijewelers.com.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Loyalty. It's a big word for Family Market, and we mean it. That's why our loyalty card, also known as our rewards card, same thing, folks, lets you save 5 cents a gallon every time you fill up at any of our 4 locations. Grab a large fountain drink or a fresh cup of community coffee, that's another 5 cents off a gallon. And on Big Mondays, mid-grade gas costs the same as regular. Yep, you heard me right. Family Market. Keeping it simple and saving you money in Shannon Hills, Malvern, Penguin, and now Mayflower. Just off I-40. Stop by today. Your wallet will thank you. Yep, that's the sounds of all my friends and another great deck party of mine. And what do you not hear? That's right, no mosquitoes. That's because Sanders Ground Essential provides me with a monthly mosquito barrier spray. Call them at 315-9395 or on the web at sandersground.com.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios. Eat fresh, eat local, eat my catfish. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
And welcome back to Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. I better be careful when I've got this many guys in this one studio. I start talking about food. There may be a stampede. This is at the Riverfront Steakhouse, what I'm referencing. This is tonight. Yes, tonight. It's always been where we've had the dinner for two for $60. Well, it's back. We've done a lot of other specials lately, including the steak entree, add a lobster to that. That's still available. You can still get a steak entree with lobster for $10 extra. But the best deal ever, is the 2 for $60, which is dime for two. You get the 10-ounce steak, 5 ounce for each. You get the 3 of the Frank Fletcher double F fried shrimp. Those magnificent fried shrimp. I always order 3 more. I give Carrie 3. I get 3. I mean, it starts with the salad bar for 2. I mean, that's where it all begins, the salad bar. World's largest salad bar. And then, well, actually, it begins even before the salad bar with the hot rolls. Man, I keep forgetting things that, I mean, it's just included in the meal. And then you get to pick 2 entrees. I'll stick with it forever and ever and ever and ever. baked potato goes best with the steak. I mean, that's just like count the basket. We'll shoot the free throw. It is good. You've got to have a baked potato. And it's big enough that we could split it. I mean, right down between the seams, so to speak. We'll split it. And then Carrie gets that spinach. I don't usually fight her for that, but I have fought her times for the hibachi fried rice with chicken. That's pretty good, too. But all this for just $60. $60. And don't forget, there is the steak entree with the lobster, $10 extra. And you can get that magnificent ribeye that's about, I don't know, that thing looks to be 2 foot long. And cooked to perfection. Both cooked to perfection. That is the Riverfront Steakhouse, Wyndham Hotel in North Little Rock. Make your reservation now. Ask for Uncle Shapur. Tell him I sent you. 371-9000, 501-371-9000. Riverfront Steakhouse, Wyndham Hotel in North Little Rock.
The salad bar, Randy. I go just for the salad. It's that good.
Outstanding.
Yes. With
the baby shrimp. Don't forget that. All right, Coach. We need to get an update. What's going on with these Little Rock Trojans? I've been kind of seeing up and down. What's kind of going on right now with these Little Rock Trojans?
Well, speaking of injury, the injury bug has struck on our team. Right now we have 6 of our starting players out right now with various injuries that are just weird occurrences. Our starting catcher, he's been out for a while with a knee. Our closer, he's battling some tightness in his forearm, which you want to be very cautious with because that can lead to elbow issues. We're bringing him back. Our shortstop, Alex Seguin, who's having a great year, knock on wood, has just one error. He's spent the last week out with a concussion. Our first baseman.
Now, what happened there?
An odd collision at second base. And what happened was there was a dirt ball. Our catcher blocked it. The opponent, the runner, took off for second and did not think that we were going to throw to second, and so did not slide. It wasn't a malicious play, just assumed that he did not need to slide, and so the runner's elbow came in contact with Alex's head.
Oh, my goodness. How crazy.
And so he's in concussion protocol. Our first baseman, we had a preseason collision on a bunt that was thrown in inter-squads up the line, and the runner ran into his non-throwing elbow, and so he had an injury there, and he's coming back, and then our center fielder has a groin. And so we're battling through it. Injuries are part of the game. We're not asking anyone to feel sorry for us. We're certainly not going to look in the past, but it is a reality. You know, there are excuses, and then there are reasons. And so we're asking a lot of our other players to step up, next man up, maybe asked to play a different position that they're not used to playing. We may have to extend some pitchers a little bit more while we're thin on the mound. We've got a true freshman catcher right now who's just for a freshman catcher, of course, you know, with all of the communication, he's got an earpiece in one ear from the pitching coach and another earpiece with pitch comm, and he's the quarterback or point guard on the field, and he's handling it great, but that's just a lot, and he's doing great. And so our standard has not changed, even though we're going through a little bit of a rough patch the first half. We're still going to hold our players accountable to play hard, play the game the right way. We've been very close and in almost every game, and we just got to hold down the fort while these guys
none of these, Chris, are season-ending injuries.
We don't believe so. The longest one would be our catcher. You know, it's a knee issue that he had scoped, but we believe we'll get him back in. He's the longest one we believe will be out if all the rehab goes correct, and it will. We'll get him back, and then gradually, week by week, we'll get our players back. And so what we've told our guys is, hey, we're going to keep playing hard. All of our goals are still in front of us. We've finished 2 weekends. We have 7 left. A lot of baseball in front of us. Mm-hmm. All of our goals are still attainable of winning the regular season, again, like we did last year. Going to a regional, which for Little Rock baseball, that's the next step. The last time we went was 2011. And so that's what we talk about is getting to a regional. But because of the OVC, our RPI,
I was going to ask you about that.
You have to win the tournament.
You got to win the tournament, okay.
And so you got to be hot for 3 days to win that tournament, and it can happen. Evansville, I point to, who we opened up with in the beginning of the year and swept them. Well, they finished as a 4 seed in the Missouri Valley, win their tournament, go and win a regional, and end up a game away from Tennessee at their super regional. Of course, Tennessee goes on to win it all, and so it can happen. And so we try to be very positive with the player, not sugarcoat anything. We hold them accountable. We're very honest about how we need to play, but the better days are ahead. We need to keep playing the game the right way, keep pushing, keep showing up every day, and as these guys get healthy and are able to give some of the other players a rest, we'll get better. It's also given some players who maybe didn't have an opportunity before valuable at-bats, so that when our everyday guys come back, maybe we need a guy off the bench or we need a guy to step in. Well, he's got an extra at-bats that he didn't have before. Or a true freshman got valuable experience, or a junior. We had 23 new players to start the whole year with. And so almost all of these are our returners that are out. And so all those new players are being pushed into roles. And so we need our starting pitching to hold down the fort. We need to play good defense, not give the other team any extra outs. And then we've played a lot of small ball, a lot more bunting and hit and running and squeeze and things like that, just to generate 1 or 2 runs at a time while our offensive firepower gets healthy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because that just listening to what you're saying, and it's kind of like it is for basketball in the Ohio Valley, and otherwise you've got to win the tournament. It doesn't matter what happens. Now, you say you want to be champions, and that will help you on the bracket in regards of seeding.
Correct.
And who you got to play to get to that championship game. But it all still ultimately comes down to what you do. You got to win that tournament. You got to win the Ohio Valley postseason tournament. Pure and simple.
That is the case. And because of that, the league does a good job of setting up the top seeds to be in great shape. For example, we were the 1 seed last year, so we got a double bye.
Okay.
And so potentially your first opponent could have already played 2 games. And it's all about pitching matchups in baseball, as we all know. And so they might have had already thrown their number 1 and number 2, but you're able to throw your number 1, who's Jackson Wells for us, and match up that way. And so the regular season does account and matter a lot for seeding in the tournament, but it's been very hard historically in our tournament and in most tournaments for the 1 seed to win both the regular season and the tournament. Eastern Illinois was seeded pretty low, and they won 6 games in a row in the tournament 2 years ago. And then SEMO, who ended up in the Fayetteville Regional, they were the 2 seed coming into our tournament last year. We beat them 2 out of 3 in the regular season. They won the tournament. And so all of our goals are in front of us. It's very frustrating right now, the way things are going for us, but we can't get frustrated and let that set in. We just got to keep moving.
So all that said is, if your team's healthy going into the tournament, you can have a lousy regular season and still win your tournament and go on.
Absolutely. It's the baseball saying is it's not who you play, it's when you play them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we want to be healthy the whole year, but what matters is if you're healthy in the tournament.
So Chris, I have to ask, because of course basketball, when I played Sun Belt, has moving conferences from another sports perspective, has that been a good thing, great thing, bad thing?
It has across the board because of the way that we've competed across the board. And by the way, shout out to Neal Atkinson, who's not in the Ohio Valley, but Pac-12 wrestling coach of the year 2 times in a row. I believe men's and women's basketball over the past couple of years have won the league at either times. Track's doing very well. Soccer went to the semifinals. Last year we won the Athletic Directors Cup, which is across the board most wins in all the sports in the league. And so we match up very well from a facility standpoint, from a resources standpoint, from a recruiting geographically. We're the furthest south team, which puts us – there are great players in the Midwest, don't get me wrong, but we have access to Texas, we have access to Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and there are a lot of good players there. And so I think we match up well for the league. What that means is, and I like this, there's higher expectations every year. The conversation I know around our locker room and around our campus is Little Rock is supposed to win a championship. And I don't know if that's been the case all the time, and maybe it's been an uphill battle in the past. when I first started as a young head coach, we were in the Sun Belt, and you felt like at times you were one of the have-nots with folks like Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Lafayette and Georgia Southern, App State, and many Southern Miss now. And those are programs that really, really, really fund baseball. But Frank Cuervo, our new athletic director, is a baseball guy, and he has already made great strides to make sure that baseball and other sports have a chance to compete. We opted in to the settlement, which, by the way, is Monday. That will be a huge day where the judge will come down with an official ruling that will trigger whatever it is that will mean to everyone. But Frank has been out front and said Little Rock is in. And that's a huge thing. And then he said today in our media day that he wants to start a new facilities upgrade campaign maybe as early this summer. So it's a good time to be at Little Rock Athletics, and we can compete at a high level.
So one thing will be new with this is you'll probably have 35 scholarships. They could be full scholarships if you can do that. So when they say, "Are you in?" I'm sure you're really curious as to what that means.
Sure, and what we're hearing, Rick, is even in the Power 4 conferences, I don't know many that are going to go, and it's actually 34 that are going to go 34 fulls. I think maybe Arizona State baseball said they would, but what we're kind of hearing the chatter around for baseball, I can only speak to baseball, is that maybe they'll land in the low 20s, but the separator will be the NIL money, and those budgets are they're large. But that being said, Little Rock baseball will have access to that as well.
Good.
That's great. That's great. All right, we will step away for a moment. Rick Schaeffer, Bart Reed, the coach, better known as Chris Curry. Thanks to the Little Rock Trojans. I'm Randy Rainwater. Drive Time Sports will continue.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Cohen is a proud sponsor of Nolan Richardson on Drive Time Sports. Founded over 10 years ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison, Arkansas Municipal Equipment specializes in refuse and recycle equipment. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, and roll-off dumpsters. But they don't just sell it to you. You can get parts and service for all makes and models for refuse equipment. Their technicians travel the state to take care of you. A&E, it's the service after the sale.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Roger Scott for Gravely Mowers. You know, when it comes to beautiful lawns, nothing cuts like a Gravely. When it comes to cutting prices, there's nothing like Gravely's biggest sale of the year, Mow the Distance. And this year, it's even bigger than ever. Because on March 17th through April 19th, you can save thousands of dollars with 0% interest over 48 months on all models. So hurry on down now to your local authorized Gravely dealer like Chapel Hardware in Pine Bluff or Triple C Sales and Service in Conway.
If the amazing regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics provided relief for former pro football player Bobby Carpenter, imagine the potential for your aching joints.
So my knee had been bothering me for a while. I played football for a number of years. I looked at talking to some doctors when I need to potentially have surgery, and I decided, hey, let's check out QC Kinetics. I go in there, and they look at the knee. Hey, here's the program that we can put you through.
That treatment takes your body's own healing properties and concentrates them at the root of the pain. No surgery or downtime.
The best part was there's no recovery until one day I felt like, hey, this feels like my old self again. I feel better. It's helped me. It's helped my dad. Hopefully it will help you in the same way. My message to them is do not wait. So you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Take it from Bobby Carpenter. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where it's much like any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations, minus the always fresh, delicious food options like the family pack catfish dinners. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
I can't let that music linger too long. I mean, you got to be on your toes when Rick Schaeffer's around. All right, Robert Irwin Jewelers, the R.I.J. way. You're going to get more choices. You can shop now, pay later up to 12 months with no interest, or take 60 months with a very low APR. They make custom designing your engagement ring risk-free and easy. If you can dream it, Robert Irwin Jewelers can make it. Robert Irwin Jewelers can even make your engagement ring from a picture or a drawing or even a dream. You will create a ring that is uniquely yours. And Robert Irwin also has free ring sizing for life and free jewelry spa service for life. 2 locations in the Little Rock area, McCain Mall in North Little Rock, and the Pleasant Ridge Town Center next to the Fresh Market. Bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices. Robert Irwin Jewelers. Or shop online at rijewelers.com. And let's see, that one, no. This one, that one. There you go. Now, believe it or not, we have unfinished business.
We
do. Bart,
well,
we do.
I thought Ripley was here.
No, believe it or not, because that's what happens when you don't believe it or not.
Okay.
Lamar Wilkerson, we kind of got started, then we had to hit the break.
Yep. So, big physical. So, I don't know what he's listed at, but I guarantee
you. Says 6'5", 205.
Okay, I was about to say he's 205, 210. Physical guard, gets in the lane. We've talked about finishing through contact, one of the probably best finishing through contact guards in the country. Ashdown, Arkansas, relatively, I'd say, under the radar, went to Three Rivers, had a great junior college career, averaged 20 points, 4 assists, just has had a really...
Bart, his shooting numbers.
They're
44, almost 45% from the three-point line.
Sign him.
Yep.
We don't see that much anymore, do we? Who was it that asked him when the last pure shooter was at Arkansas? If you can get 45%, you're a good shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's Steph Curry level, and it's not like he hit 4 to 5 of them. He hit 52. So he's shooting a large volume and shooting a high percentage. So I think he's great at shot recognition. He facilitates really well, and he's a great defender. And so one of those guys that I would go out and get for sure.
Well, let's see, this was Monday? Was it Monday? We found out Big Z had jumped into the transfer portal.
Today's Thursday. It's Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday. Either way. Were you surprised about that, Bart?
I was a little surprised because of how well he played at the middle and end of SEC play. He did look a little, disjointed in the NCAA tournament, just looked very tentative, but I am surprised. When you follow Coach Cal, you're there, you have numbers-wise a really great season. I think his role was only going to get larger, so I was a little surprised.
Well,
he'll get better because he'll also get better. Guys that are 7 feet tall, 7'1", coordination doesn't catch up to them as fast, and so the more he matures, he's going to get better to where you'd have to say right now, so is he going to the NBA? Well, not now, but at some point, say he's 25, 26 years old, he may be a heck of a player.
Yes, and if you're shooting 38% from the three-point line, that's catch and shoot for a guy that size. That shows he has special talent that the NBA is looking for. So if he can continue to develop and gets a little bit bigger, stronger, he certainly is a force to be reckoned with.
I just figured out why he's not coming back. Remember when he came, he told Z, he says, you can come with me, but you're not going to be a point guard. Well, for a few games, they needed him to be the point guard because nobody else could hit any shots. Yeah. He did, but because he did, Maybe so. Well, you're not going to be the point guard, and so maybe that's why he's leaving.
No, I have to say this to Rick's point. Coach Cal kind of reinvented the offense, and he was a dribble drive guy, 4 out his entire career. When he came to Arkansas, everything went to high pick and roll, high DHO, which I think was great for this team because it allowed to get in the middle. Big Z triggered a lot of that because he would pop. They would run kind of a spread, what I would call secondary fast break. Big Z would go from the high post to three-point line. They'd throw it to him, and you had a lot of handoffs, a lot of pass and ball screens. You have to have great hands to do that. That's one thing that Z had, great hands.
Didn't need to put the ball on the floor, though.
Yeah, no. Oh, I agree. Like in the tournament when he put that down. Yeah.
That was not one of his best skills, putting the ball on the floor. All right, Bart, another name that has surfaced that has drawn a tremendous amount of interest, Mortez Johnson out of Illinois. He's 6'9", 225 pounds. He just completed his freshman year at Illinois. Averaged 7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.5 blocks in just 17 minutes per game as a true freshman. And he is in the transfer portal. My understanding, Arkansas has been heavily involved with him.
So I'm surprised he's in the portal because he had a great year and was a big part of what they were doing. So that's a little surprising. That is
No. With NIL, nothing is surprising.
No.
Here, why didn't they just work out a trade, Z, for him?
Right.
You can't do trades, though, can
no,
you?
But I would
not even NIL.
Maybe that's next. Maybe that's what's coming next. Trades.
That's when you have a salary cap. Okay.
I would substitute and just grab because that's a guy as a true freshman. He's going to put on, I would say, 15 to 20 pounds.
225 now.
Is it okay? So he's that. So he'll still put on weight as a true freshman because he's just so young. But that's a guy right there. And we talk about a long 6'9", great wingspan. That's certainly a really talented guy. I'm surprised he's in there. As we were just saying, I'd grab him.
You were talking about he'll get stronger. Rick, have you noticed, and because we don't have a before, but I heard Coach Van Horn talk about this maybe a week or so ago, and they were asking, the media was asking about Davalon and his power, but the one that they were talking about at that time in particular was Logan Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the statement, he said, it's kind of like, what do you expect, guys? You're coming into the SEC, you got to get stronger.
Yeah.
And you got to be in, quote, better shape. And I got to looking at both of those guys the other day. Good gracious, the thighs on Logan Maxwell in particular. I know he's had some hamstring issues, but I got to looking at just his physical build, his physical makeup. Well, yeah, duh. He hit one the other day against Vanderbilt that went opposite field, and it wasn't just one that barely dropped over the fence. I mean, it was up into the bleachers, and that was Oppo. So I'm just wondering, I don't know what Cal's philosophy is, but because that to me is the only thing that's going to hold Big Z back. I've said this over and over again. He's got to put weight on. He's got to get stronger.
He needs to be bigger Z.
Yeah. He's got to be a bigger Z.
And if he's not,
I didn't even buzz that one, which I should have.
But if he's not going to put on weight, I would say this: the SEC is not a league where he would want to play. He would want to go out west.
Yeah, where do you go?
Well, probably.
I wondered about that. Does he go like?
Don't get me. I think the West Coast. I think they play soft. So if you're thin,
but he is finesse right now.
Yeah. So he could go out west and dominate. You can go to the Pac-12. I mean, I'm sorry.
If you go west, you're in the Big Ten.
You go Mountain West or something like that. Yeah.
If you go to USC, you got to play Michigan,
right,
and Illinois.
But that mix of what the old Pac-12 Big Ten, that would be more of a league for a finesse type of guy, especially him that likes to shoot a lot of threes. The physicality of the SEC, and everybody's about to get a really good taste of it because there's going to be an SEC team playing for the national championship against two really good teams. The physicality of Florida and Auburn is off the charts.
Houston, now that's somebody's physical.
They are physical, but I don't think pound for pound when you look at them, the lineup, the SEC teams are just so much bigger. And if you look at Florida, I think Florida might be the best rebounding team that I've ever seen. And it's just like they endlessly bring 6, 7+ off the bench, and they're just crashing the glass.
I think
they're so physical.
I think he's number 10. Hout, H-A-U-G-H-T. I hope he gets in the transfer portal. I love that kid.
Yeah.
He terrorized Arkansas. He didn't score as he did the other night in that Elite 8 matchup where I think he had 20-22.
Well, then why would he leave?
Well, I'm just making a request. Jump in the transfer portal. Come on. Come on to Arkansas. Love that kid. All right, we'll come back. Hour number 3 in just one moment. Stay tuned.
Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville is having their annual sale April 5th through the 11th. 50% off in-stock patio furniture, 20% off pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, hot tub accessories, in-stock ledge lounger furniture, PK grills, and special Fisco furniture orders. Special pricing on in-stock hot tubs and get 0% interest for 36 months on hot tubs the week of the sale only. Luxury Pool and Spa is also giving away a Fantasy Entice hot tub along with Pentair pool products during the sale. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
Coach Kevin Kelly joins the zone each Wednesday, presented by your locally owned Little Rock Athletic Club and Racket Club. Join now, save 30%. Pool season is right around the corner. LRAC.com.
No matter what you do,
You were finished.
we can't be stopped.
Well, allow me to retort.
103.7 The Buzz.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
KABZ, Little Rock.
If you don't already have the Bet Saracen Sports Wager app, download it today from the app stores or go to BetSaracen.com. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Listen to Out of Bounds every day to hear about what's trending on social media and whether listeners agree or disagree. Engaging conversations about engaging topics. Sponsored by Arkansas-based West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock and their 1.5 million coffee farmers around the globe as they fuel Arkansans with great tasting coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA. That's 833-886-5282. Call today.
Hawks Homes is the #1 Arkansas dealer. More inventory than anyone in Arkansas. Been in business for over 39 years. At Hawks, we offer custom-built, manufactured, and modular homes. 1 to 5 bedroom homes that can be built to accommodate all your needs. We also build lake houses, hunting clubs, offices, church, and classrooms. For information, go to hawkshomes.net, located in Conway and Bryant.
Hi folks, it's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sherwood. When you're in the market for a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram, we hope you give us a chance to earn your business. Here's some things to consider. Fletcher Dodge has been family-owned dealer here in Sherwood for over 25 years. We know how to take care of our customers to keep them coming back. Every Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram dealer pays the same price for their vehicles. It's the dealer that makes the difference. We'll give you the best deal up front. No haggling, no arguing. We make it easy to buy a new vehicle. And we'll pay you more for your trade-in. Compare our deal to anybody's, and you'll buy from us. Come see us today for the deal of a lifetime on new Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram. At Frank Fletcher Dodge, you always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. And we promise you a hassle-free buying experience. We want to be your dealer for life. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Just tell us what you're looking for, and we'll make you a deal. Come see us in person at Fletcher Dodge on Warden Road in Sherwood, or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
Tickets are on sale now for the 21st Annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th at the downtown Riverside RV Park. Sample great barbecue from incredible cooks from all over Arkansas. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Buzzarita Pavilion for a cold drink and some great live music from Bree Ogden and Bad Habits Jack Bennett. Brought to you by Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the 21st Annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th. Go to buzzbq.com for tickets.
Fellas, are you flirting with 40? Not feeling like yourself? Struggling with energy and motivation? Low T Center's testosterone therapy is the answer. This April, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance. Find a clinic near you or get treated at home and get back to feeling your best today. Book now at lowtcenter.com.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free insurance review, see Shelter agent Jeff Hodge or Jay Hellman, Little Rock, or Bo Beavis in Cabot.
If you have a passion for adventure and unmatched quality, then head to Honda of North Little Rock for the best lineup of quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. They have Honda's best models and will find the perfect ride just for you. That's Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
It's Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot, so what are you working on? Right now, we've got 14 days of deals to elevate your gardening game. We're calling it Mulch Madness in the Garden Center, where you can get 5 bags of Scott's Earthgrow mulch for only $10. Now that's a special buy. Promote healthier soil, prevent weeds, and beautify your yard with mulch that maintains its color for up to 12 months. Shop 14 days of deals during Spring Black Friday, now through April 16th at the Home Depot.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Coach Kevin Kelly joins the Zone each Wednesday, presented by your locally owned Little Rock Athletic Club and Racket Club. Join now, save 30%. Pool season is right around the corner. LRAC.com. Thanks for hanging with us on a chaotic Thursday here on Morning Mayhem. The guys are out at Luxury Pool and Spa on Friday. A whole lot to do on this show. We've got to talk with Pat Bradley, Joe Klein, Bree Ellis, Danny West, and more. The guys will preview the weekend in Hog Sports. It's all coming up on Morning Mayhem, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, it's time for Arkansas's #1 collar-driven sports show. It's Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network with your hosts, Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaeffer. Lock it in and get ready to dial us up. Drive Time Sports is on the air.
Hour number 3 of Drive Time Sports here on the Buzz Radio Network. Rick Schaeffer. He's not standing by in Northwest Arkansas today. Here in Central Arkansas with yours truly from the capital city, Randy Rainwater. But we are also joined by...
It's time for the basketball insider in Arkansas. It's Bart Reed, made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village, staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care. Now, here's Bart.
Here's Bart. All right, let's get you up to date for those that are still hanging in there with us. Or maybe you're just now tuning in. But we are working, not Bart, not Rick, not myself.
We're working.
But Gary and Sean are working diligently.
Yes, tirelessly.
To get our phone lines and our tie lines, which allows, in this case, Rick to do Drive Time Sports from his home there in Northwest Arkansas, and others to use the tie line to come in on our program.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tonight, as an example, this should have been the time that we'd be hearing from Coach Richardson. But because of the phone lines not working, and had you attempted to call and you happened to get one of our producers, in this case, if you had gotten Kramer for Drive Time Sports, he could actually talk to you in the producer's booth. But unfortunately, that phone call dies right there. I didn't know this until...
But that might be pretty entertaining. Kramer might be pretty entertaining in the producer's booth.
We really don't want to know the answer to that.
I'm really, really gifted at that.
There you go.
Yeah.
We
Sometimes
really-
they're like, we don't even want to talk to the guys. We want to talk to you.
Yeah, we really didn't want to know that piece of information. But hopefully we are making progress. Why? Because we didn't have internet last night either. We didn't have streaming capabilities. So some things we are getting back piece by piece. Now, for what this is worth, it is not unbelievable, but it is pretty doggone close to being unbelievable. We were struck Sunday night by lightning. And when poor DB and Roger came in the next morning, Monday morning, when they probably went to the board, they found out that orange wasn't working at all. And then they found out that white was, as we heard with Trey Biddy, was practically muffled to the point you couldn't hear him hardly. And now this entire board is out. None of
those two guys for Monday, they just had just those two talking to each other. Because by Tuesday,
no, the phone lines did work.
Oh, because by Tuesday morning, I was on with them.
Because it was the tie lines that went down on Monday.
But Tuesday they worked.
Well, Monday was a weird day.
Monday afternoon at work because I was on with you. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. One of the three worked Monday, and you happened to be on the one that was working.
Okay.
The other two were not working.
That's right. I had to change my number on Monday.
Yeah, the guys were actually on location on Monday, so Josh had to hold it down by himself until people started coming in. I was like, I'm listening to that. It's like, good for him. Like, I'm glad he's super talented because no phones, no tie line, and you got the producer in the studio by himself, and he did an incredible job. He's a talented dude.
Yeah, very good.
And these are not traditional like we think of years ago phone lines where you just go. There's a lot that goes into.
Sure. Yeah.
There's
condenser and so forth and so on. So yeah. So hopefully tomorrow. But I've already been warning Bart.
Hey, you know what you ought to do is have Annie on. Maybe tomorrow. Right? She sang that song.
Tomorrow.
I thought you were going to ask if Annie's okay.
Tomorrow. No. I've been around him too long now. Every once in a while he will stump me on something, but nevertheless, that's... And the other thing that I want to do while it is here, we just got through talking with Coach Curry from Little Rock concerning how they've adjusted their weekend series. Rick, you've been looking at the weather, I think, pretty much throughout the entire show. You thought, and I think this is based upon what Wes Moore was sharing, that there could be a window tomorrow night.
Well, if you like if you believe in cell phone weather, at 6 o'clock tomorrow, there's still 55% chance of not just rain, but thunderstorms.
They won't be playing in that.
So it would have to, I guess the whole thing would be they could start as late as 9 o'clock, maybe even 9:30 if they had to. If they knew that Saturday was going to be worse, because Saturday there's a 90% chance of rain. Sunday at 70% chance. We were told up front that Sunday was the best chance. Now that could be midnight to 6 in the morning. That's still Sunday. But that means if there's any window Friday night, even if it's later, they would still try and play.
This is from our D3 Auto Sales Bus text on any idea how we could get 3 baseball games in this weekend. It's kind of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. It really is. I'm looking at your weather here in Little Rock tomorrow. You got a nice break here from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, but once you hit 2 in the afternoon, you're going to get some more.
All right, Bart, you make and comment on this.
Okay.
I didn't know this. LC in Sherwood from a D3 Auto Sales bus text line says Morez, M-O-R-E-Z, Morez Johnson has been committed to Michigan for a couple of days. I hadn't heard that.
Okay. So Michigan's on the acquire state of mind because they just grabbed, I'm trying to think who else they just grabbed. North Carolina's top guard, the freshman, or sophomore. I'll think about it. But so if
that was a surprise he went in the transfer portal.
Elliot Cadeau.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
So Michigan just got better in a hurry, and they were pretty good already.
This from Ron from Pine Bluff from our D3 Auto Sales. Says you could be worse. Adapt and overcome. You're the buzz. Survive.
Well, we're doing it. We're adapting and we're over, but we just can't take any phone calls. But you can get through, as Randy just read.
Yep. And what won't be affected by weather is the Final Four, which this could be the best Final Four ever.
Oh my goodness, this
You're
one.
not talking about sugar-free Coke, are you? Is this the best Coke ever? No, Coca-Cola is the best. When you just said that, that's what it reminded me of when you said this could be the best ever. This could be the best one ever.
It could be the best one ever because of the matchups. I don't think we've ever had one where there hasn't been some type of Cinderella that you felt like was they had a great run.
There's no Cindy's in this bunch.
It's going to be a battle.
It's only the second one with all ones ever.
Yeah.
So. Say under this current format.
Yes, these are all blue bloods that are going to have. Well, I don't know if you really want to put Auburn. Well, except for Duke, I'm not sure you call any of the three other what you call blue bloods.
Florida's won 2 national championships. Yeah. Auburn, this is only their second time ever to get to the Final Four.
That's true.
Houston's never won a national championship, but they've been to the Final Four.
And Florida's their national championships were very recent.
Back to back in the late 90s.
Yeah. So.
90s? No, it was later than that.
Was it? Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, that's right.
2006.
Like 6 and 7. Yeah, you're right. So that's recent enough that they're good. But you're right. I don't know that anybody would think of them as a blue blood in basketball, even though they've won.
All right, Bart, this is another one for you because where I'm going to ask you, and I don't know if it's because of all this impending money that is about to be pumped into these NIL programs, and I'm talking basketball. But Morez Johnson signed with Michigan, $1.8 million reported.
Whoa!
So are we going to see now what we thought $1 million was unheard of? All of a sudden now you're talking anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million. And who knows, it may go. Who was the kid? Did he sign with Washington State last year that got over $2.5 million? Wasn't there a player last year that signed an NIL that was Washington State, and
maybe that's what
they
had
to
pay him.
$2 million.
Maybe that's what they had to pay him because he was good and there was no Pac-12 anymore. Maybe that's what they had to pay him to get to come to Washington
State.
Could
be.
Yeah. Could be.
And let's say this, with that much money and that happening, the scary thing is Michigan probably tampered. It was probably recruiting him somehow, some way before the season was over. But if that is the standard.
Oh, you're suggesting tampering went on?
If that is the standard, because he had a very good year, I don't think it's warranted that much money. If that is what they're throwing out, then it becomes harder and harder to bring top talent in. So the haves get richer and the have-nots fall out. Obviously, Arkansas is on the upside of this. So how much does or is a freshman worth, incoming freshman like Acuff and Malik Thomas?
Oh, wait a minute. A mint,
of course.
And I've been hearing more than $2 million.
I can't imagine you would pay more than $2 million for him in that when you look at his frame. I don't care how good he is. He weighs 185 pounds.
Yeah. He was skinny.
You throw him out there in the SEC, and he's thinking he's only going to play for 1 year. And on NBA, looking for talent, they may think the same thing, even if he gets pushed around in the SEC. Why would you pay $2 million for him, no matter how good he is, as opposed to the guy that's the Arizona State transfer? Wouldn't you rather have him?
Well, I think what brings pause to that is, and I've said this, Coach Cal, I think, has a great reading on high school players coming in. The reason you would give pause is Nelly Davis, that you come in and you pay that much money to, and basically
for 3/4 of the season, you didn't get your return.
Because it's hard to look at conferences and see what transfers. But if you grab a high school talent, because Ament is slight, Rick, and I agree with you, he can handle the ball so well for a guy his size. It allows him to play a guard and get on the perimeter where that 185 frame is not as easily pushed around as it is in the interior. So, but I think Coach Cal feels like he has a formula where he knows exactly what freshmen are going to do with the way he's recruited over the years.
I'm sure you got this, Rick, just as I did a second ago. I got this from Oliver Grigg, who is the SID for baseball. Says, first pitch of the series scheduled between Arkansas and Missouri, scheduled for 7 p.m. on the SEC network. That's all he basically says about that. I was hoping maybe he might have something in there, kind of an update, but Coach Van Horn today said in his press conference it will be in the morning before any decision is made about tomorrow afternoon, or maybe, for that matter, depending upon the forecast, because Dave looks at multiple weather forecast that he utilizes that could be making announcements all the way into Sunday, possibly, what they decide tomorrow.
Could, yeah. You're right, because they will look ahead, and it's amazing how these days they're making more and more decisions on forecasts than ever before.
Sure.
Even in schools. You've seen that with public schools, already calling school off the day before. The rule was, when I first started working at Springdale Schools, the rule was school was never called off until at the earliest 5 o'clock in the morning the day of that school. Well, that causes all kinds of headaches. You're going to work, and now all of a sudden you got to figure out something to do with your kids. So we saw this year and in the last 2 or 3 years, school being called a day before where parents were aware of that. Well, same thing with athletics. If you know it's 100% chance, then you may make that call. But
it was interesting how many parents were upset about them calling school early yesterday, like half days. And I'm like, well, all right, my kids have the ability to do all their work from home because that infrastructure's been around for the last 5 years, and safety. So for sports, we have a lot more technology available to see this and keep everybody safe.
But still, weather can change.
Yeah.
For instance, I've been watching Kansas City's weather, knowing I'm going to go up there, and this morning it showed strong rain possibilities Friday, Saturday, but Sunday was okay. Now it's showing Saturday is no rain, just windy. So that changed from this morning to now, which is encouraging for me. And so the same thing, if you make a decision on Friday for Sunday's weather, you could be wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But they'll watch it closely. When Norm DeBryan was the baseball coach at Arkansas, and before we had all this stuff, he and the weather center in Tulsa, they were on a first-name basis. He called them all the time. He might call them every 10 minutes to find out what was going on with weather. So Tulsa was really our region to where you got all the updated weather stuff. May still be, I don't know.
I think for Northwest it is, and like Bart, where you live, you're in between 2 different radars, so you get the Little Rock, but you also get Shreveport, so it's difficult to find where the storms are going. That's why I was showing you all the stuff earlier to make sure your kids are good.
So with the technology we have, Rick, because you probably would know the answer to this, they call school. When I was in school, it felt like if school was called, there was no athletic events. But sometimes I've seen where school has been called, but they play.
In Northwest Arkansas, you can't.
You can't.
The Big Four school, no, you can't. If Springdale, Fayetteville, Bentonville, and Rogers, if school is called, you can't play.
Okay, because that's the way I thought it was.
My kid's school, there was no athletics today, or no after school at all, athletics or anything, even though they went to school today. They went ahead and canceled everything because they didn't know what the weather was going to do tonight.
Now, I do think I think you can. I could be wrong on this, but I think, let's say you've got a Friday night basketball game scheduled. Whether school's canceled, you could play on Saturday.
Okay.
In other words, you didn't.
They
have
did
to-
that a lot this
Yeah, you
year.
didn't have to wait till the next week to
Right.
reschedule. Even though you were out of school Friday, you could play Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen makeup games this year in basketball, both Saturday and then Monday. They did a lot of Mondays.
Yeah.
Who was the coach we were talking to?
Benton.
Was it Benton?
Don't look at me.
Coach Chumley, Jerry Chumley. Something about 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
Well, it was Coach, and then it was also in Springdale.
Well, yeah. In Springdale, somebody had played 4 games over like.
It was 4 games in 6 days.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Some of those tournament games were well until like 11 o'clock at night this year, too. I was really surprised how late they let those games go because it was a school day.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, this is from our D3 Auto Sales Bus text line. This is a very important question, so I need you to answer it. It says, hey, Rick, where's the best steak in Fayetteville? Thank you, sir.
Herman's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herman's is still
Really
the
not a
best.
debate, yeah.
Herman's has been there since before I moved there, so they've been there over 50 years. They're on their 3rd owner. It used to be Herman, and it was funny. He did all the cooking himself. He had a T-shirt that on the back, or a sports shirt on the back said "I'm Herman," and so he did he sold it to a family, and the guy Nick who runs it now kind of was mentored by Herman. And the Tysons love eating there, and so that was a connection too. But their steak, their New York strip is just amazing. Yeah.
It used to be when you stopped in at Whataburger in Russellville.
Yeah.
The original Whataburger. You find Randy Ellis behind the counter as the chief cook.
Huh.
His wife was Missy, and Missy's maiden name was Feltner, the original Feltner
about that?
Whataburger.
Yeah.
And so
that's good. Now I should say also that I don't eat a lot of steak anymore. I'm more of a chicken person. Herman's ribs are really good too. They just fall off the bone. They're really, really good. Now I will eat those, but those who eat steak a lot more than I do will tell you that Doe's in
excellent.
Fayetteville is really good too.
It's excellent. The tamales,
but it's not Little Rock,
are excellent.
Little Rock's on another level, right? Because I've been to the Doe's in Greenville, which is on another level.
It is all part of the same.
Sure.
But the original Doe's is the one that's in Mississippi,
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was surprised as I'm driving up here. You've also got Wright's Barbecue right behind us.
Absolutely.
And of course, in Northwest Arkansas, Wright's Barbecue is, they are great. And I think I've told this story on the air before. When Adam Wainwright, when he was pitching for the Cardinals, he did a rehab assignment. Springfield was playing in Northwest Arkansas, and he is a barbecue connoisseur. And so he took the entire Springfield coaching or pitching staff, mentoring them to Wright's Barbecue that day. He had never been to Arkansas before, so he did a press conference, as a lot of big leaguers do when they're on a rehab, and he said, "This is my first time to Arkansas, and I want to tell you one thing, you guys got barbecue." he thought Wright's Barbecue was tremendous.
Yeah, it's good. It is excellent.
And you've got it right here.
That's right.
I'm driving in.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Bart, this is from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. I asked Bart about Lane Taylor. Any idea where he is going?
No idea where he's going, but let's recap for Lane. What a incredible freshman year he had, and did it against. And I don't care what people say, he did it against the great teams. Just like
the non-conference. They play BYU and Utah.
Absolutely, first
and Arkansas.
Yeah. Lane is a really gifted player. Can shoot the ball, handles it. A coach's son, with as we talked about IQ being a problem. He's 3 moves ahead. He's playing chess, not checkers.
Mm-hmm.
So I would anticipate that he does, because he's really close to his family, want to stay somewhere in proximity so his dad, who is still the coach at Farmington, and mom can watch him play. So I would assume he's going to stay in this area, and he could end up in the SEC possibly.
He can really shoot the ball.
And
he can score the ball, too.
He can score it. And when you can shoot it and score it,
it's unbelievable.
I'm just teasing.
It is unbelievable.
When shooting is
Who did I say that for?
Can he score his tennis shoes? Can he throw his shorts through the hole?
His shorts.
Can he
was Simmons. I was stunned when he threw his shorts through the basket. I'm like, holy cow! He's not just scoring the ball; he's scoring his shorts.
Now, see, Bart's a basketball guy. You said score the ball. He didn't even think about it. He just went right on talking. But you were looking right at me when you said that.
I knew he was, so I had to.
Tickets are on sale now for the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th at the downtown Riverside RV Park. Simple great barbecue from incredible cooks from all over Arkansas. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Buzzarita Pavilion for a cold drink and some great live music from Bree Ogden and Bad Habits Jack Bennett. Brought to you by Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the 21st annual Double B's Barbecue, May 10th. Go to buzzbq.com for tickets.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Willie D's Rock and Roll Piano Bar open every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cold drinks and dueling pianos. Deep Nightclub downstairs hosts karaoke on Tuesdays and DJ spin on Friday and Saturday nights. Visit WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Christy Pettit in Malmo, Matt Cooper in Russellville, or Madison Buse in England.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Tito's Handmade Vodka presents the 2025 Buzz Spring Golf Tournament, April 14th at the Burns Park Golf Course. Register your 4-person team now at 1037thebuzz.com. Special thanks to Twin Peaks, Michelob Ultra, and Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 8th or Wednesday, April 9th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Live from the Eat My Catfish studios, you feed your crave for sports by listening to Drive Time Sports. Much like you feed your crave at any of the 7 Eat My Catfish locations. The #1 sports radio show in Arkansas. Drive Time Sports on the Buzz Radio Network.
Got that very first note. Got to stay on top of our game here. The financial professionals at First Security, big fans of Arkansas. That's because they're Arkansas-owned and Arkansas-focused. They take care of communities just like they take care of customers. Whatever better means to you, you're going to find more of it at First Security. As Arkansas's community bank, First Security is all about taking care of customers and making life better right here in Arkansas. So more people can buy a home, run a business, and a whole lot more. Check them out at fsbank.com. That's First Security Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, only in Arkansas. That's First Security Bank. I guess you know it's right there. I mean, that first note.
He was standing
First
on it.
note.
Yeah,
First note.
Yeah, when the song, like when the song's playing and Shotgun gets done talking about us, radio's ready to go.
All right.
He was bobbing and weaving, waiting for his moment.
I'd already forgotten what you were talking about.
I am.
Chris Curry texted me a picture of that James McCann T-shirt. I was looking at that, so I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention that you got it on the first note.
So, Randy, do you like, speaking of that, because I wanted to ask, do you like the change of the name, Little Rock, versus UALR?
Well, I mean,
You just said it all. You don't even have to answer.
I mean, I went there.
That was his answer.
Yeah.
I went there in '72, and it was the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, UALR, and that's just the way it's always been with me. And I realized they did that for identification purposes. I understand, you know. University of Arkansas, Little Rock. They want to be Little Rock. They want to be identified as Little Rock. So I understand. But I don't care. I really don't. Now, you played when it was UALR.
Yep.
So do you care?
Well, I thought I did, and I thought I would convert because I thought it was kind of a unique concept to separate yourself, but I find myself still saying UALR.
Yeah. Well, I do that. I do that automatically.
Yeah. But when I'm looking at the hat and I look at his, he had a nice polo on, Chris did, and I'm like, that is kind of nice. Like that.
Yeah. Well, see,
well, four letters won't fit on a hat.
Right.
He's just got two.
But I mean, our jerseys always had UALR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to call the Simmons Arena because like UALR is what it was called when I went there too. So anytime something changes, that's how it stays in my brain until I run through that track a few different times.
Yep.
Like I give directions on places that don't exist anymore to my wife. I'm like, hey, well, go over there where Bonanza used to be and turn left. She's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. That's at the corner of Asher and University. That's where, if you're turning left, you're headed out towards.
See, he gets it.
Rosedale.
Where
you know where Rosedale is?
What if we never knew where
Western Hills?
I'm from here.
Well, okay.
But if you never knew where the Bonanza was, then you get. What do I do now?
Yeah, my wife's not even from here.
Yeah.
So
good luck. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Well, actually, you could even predate it more than that. You could say turn left beyond Kmart. If you're going to get really technical.
Name off every business that doesn't exist anymore for directions.
Which is where the old UALR, Barton Coliseum, they used to play.
And Crawford's Limited LTD is where I used to buy my clothes. Thank you. They're in the shopping center there, the Kmart shopping center. So, okay.
So food talk and memory talk. That's what we're doing today.
What else you want to know?
Did you buy all the blue light specials or?
No, they weren't blue light specials. Okay. You hope there would be just a discount every now and then. But anyway, of course, you go down south, down to University, down on your left, across almost catty corner from the fire station there. There used to be what was known as Minuteman.
Yeah, the mustard burgers.
And then if you went further down University, you'd find Cliff Peck, and you'd find Little Rock Dodge, Butch Martindale. What else do you want to know?
Dude, you went right past my old church, Metacliff.
I went to Metacliff.
Yeah, so it's a block off of Kramer Street, which I'm not named after.
I didn't know you
All I
went to
remember.
Metacliff.
Yeah.
Metacliff Baptist, what year?
70s, early 80s, before everybody moved to Temple off I-30. That's not even a Temple Baptist anymore.
What is it now?
It is a recruiting center for like ROTC.
The
military.
church?
Yeah, the church is. You need to get out more, man.
You're talking about on I-30?
Yeah, you stay in West Little Rock too much, man. I travel.
I-30?
Yeah.
Now, whatever happened?
I don't believe that.
Whatever happened to the University Theater that used to be there? It was kind of a big round.
Cinema 150.
Is it still there? Is it still there?
No, they tore it down about 8 years ago.
So I can remember Arkansas's basketball team had a game here in Little Rock one year. Steve Shaw was on the team. I guess it was that bunch that went to the Final Four. And Superman, the first Superman with Christopher Reeve was on. And that screen was bigger than most screens in theaters. And if you remember the credits of the very first one, they're playing the theme song, and the letters all came shooting at you.
Yeah,
I still remember that.
It was called a 150 because it was 150 degrees instead of 180 degrees. So it was like a quarter of a round.
Okay.
I took Stephanie Shank, who was the 10th grade cheerleader at McClellan High School. I took her to see Camelot.
Were you in the 10th grade then, too?
I was a senior. I was a big bad senior.
Oh, my God.
But I took her to the Cinema 150.
Yeah.
The first movie I ever saw there was called Camelot.
Yeah, what a good movie that was.
Welcome to Gen X and Boomer talking Little Rock.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You don't know about some other dates and some of the other
No, you went to Casa Viva right after that. Or
Casa Bonita, buddy.
Casa.
I'm
Was
guessing
it Casa or Casa?
It was Casa Bonita.
Casa Bonita, yeah.
I'm guessing you and she don't hang out much anymore. I'm hoping.
I don't think I've seen Stephanie in a long time.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm sure Carrie would appreciate that.
No. Honey, I hadn't seen her in 50 years or 60 years. So, yeah. Yeah, boy, what memories. Oh,
Just like a stroll, guys.
oh my gosh.
Welcome to Afternoon Mayhem.
Your wife's searching the internet right now to see what year Camelot came out.
Wait a minute.
Well, I can
Let's see
tell
how
you
long
it
ago that
It was in the late 60s, I can tell you
Is that why you named our dog that?
What was the other one that we had to go see at the Cinema 150? Gone with the Wind. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. That theater was.
Did you go back to 1939? You go back that far?
Yeah, I saw the original. In fact, I was there when they were making the film. Yeah.
No kidding.
He wrote it.
Yeah.
So you got to see that in The Wizard of Oz in the same year, huh?
Had a great year. Do you remember also there was
That's when they started color movies, you know.
the Capitol Theater? They had the Arkansas Theater. The Arkansas Theater was where it used to be Channel 7 was. Or maybe it was one door down. I can't remember now.
Downtown, you mean?
Yep, downtown. And then we had right about where this Walmart, this Ace is now. There used to be the drive-in. There used to be a drive-in right over there.
Did it bother you when it went from silent to talkies?
I really thought it was difficult, and I didn't.
No, he loved it. You didn't have to read the
I
captions.
thought this is no fun anymore.
Got tired of the piano playing the whole time.
Maybe that's the reason why I don't like closed caption on my TV, because of all the years that we had silent movies. But you slobs. There you go.
So I took a film classics class in college.
I bet it was great.
It was the best class, and I took film classic 1 and 2. And so we watched everything from Citizen Kane all the way up through Barefoot in the Park, and you got appreciation for, which I did anyway, older movies, all types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carrie, when
They offered this at UALR. How'd I miss it?
Well,
he went a few decades after you.
Well, that's probably the reason why, because that sounded like an easy A to me.
Well, you had to watch it, but you had to write papers, and Philip Martin, who writes in the
Democrat,
I took his politics and movies.
Did you not have Cliff Notes back then?
He had Bart Notes.
No, he had Philip Martin. He didn't have Cliff Notes.
That's right. You had to watch them, and that was a great course too, because he was really insightful. And
the English department was part of that also. I had a teacher named Dee Snyder who.
Well, how do you know? You're too old to remember it.
Oh, I'm only a couple years older than Bart. Don't let my beard fool you, or the wrinkles in my face. So our teacher would do books that became movies, and then I also had a class that was similar. That they did a lot of media and movies in media, and that wasn't even my major at that point. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm glad I did all this preparatory work before we came here today.
Didn't need to.
The book, you can close that huge
and
book
nobody can call and complain. Snoring Bob has been snoring for 2.5 hours now, right? Huh?
Well, this is from the 573 in Missouri from our D3 Auto Sales.
Missouri.
Says, tell Rick, in hockey, you score the puck. That's what professionals call it. Just like basketball. All announcers and analysts say score the basketball. Same as field hockey.
It's pitiful.
The ball or the puck goes into or through a net.
Scores. Look.
In football, you cross the goal line.
Okay, I was such a Cardinal fan when I was younger, and the St. Louis Blues started.
Yeah.
A guy named Bob Starr, I think, that did the hockey games. No, Kelly. A guy named Kelly was his last name. And I listened to some of the hockey games. I don't know what in the world I was thinking to listen to hockey on the radio, but I did. You got it on KMOX. Anytime a guy scores, he scores! I never heard anybody say he scores the puck. Now, that's a long time ago.
Right, but I agree. I don't think they say that.
Holy smoke.
What else are you going to score? The skate?
Now,
the stick? He scored the stick.
This is an historical moment. Mike from Bryan.
Okay.
From our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. I took a science leisure class at UALR. That was the bowling alley on Asher. Remember the Asher bowling alley? Yes.
Oh, what was the class? Science leisure?
Science leisure.
Just casually doing science.
Then he said, I had been the assistant manager at the UA Cinema 150 prior to that.
Nice. Wow.
But then became the UA Cinema 150 manager.
No kidding.
I also took that class at ULR, to which we watched the AFI's Top 100.
What's the AFI?
American Film Institute.
Really? They watched 100 movies in there?
Oof.
Wow.
They're still doing it. Like he's still a freshman. Like
I took a class, to which we watched the AFI.
You know, all the critics
100.
say the best movie ever made was Citizen Kane. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's absolutely
never seen it.
It's fantastic. And
is it?
People don't realize how great it is because they think it's the basically kind of life of Randolph Hearst. And so he's a media conglomerate, and he does all these great things and has all this stuff, and he basically dies a lonely person.
You know who my best friend was back then?
Who?
Rosebud.
Clark Gable.
He was your best friend?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were Gone with the Wind.
The music's saving us, guys.
Clark Gable.
And Olivia de Havilland.
You need to watch this.
That was my women.
Clark Gable was your best friend.
Yeah.
Because you were Gone with the Wind. Okay, I get he was in Gone with the Wind. What does that have to do with you being his best friend?
Well, we were just good friends. You said I was there when we were making the movie. Okay. So
you said you saw
I'm
it.
just reminding
I didn't
you.
say
Damon said, frankly, he doesn't give it.
I didn't say you made it with him.
Fellas, over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself? Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today, fellas. Visit one of our conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best. This April only, listen up, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made for you, and it's covered by most major insurance. Get treated at our centers or from home. Why wait? Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. Again, that's lowtcenter.com.
Do wings your way at Slim Chickens. We're talking perfectly fried bone-in wings. Choose from 10 different flavors, like our Cayenne Ranch Dry Rub or Lemon Pepper Dry Rub. Always delicious for lunch or dinner. And if you need to feed a hungry crowd, Slim's has you covered, with party trays that are perfect for the big game. No matter who you are, be bold and find your flavor at Slim Chickens. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville is having their annual sale April 5th through the 11th. 50% off in-stock patio furniture, 20% off pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, hot tub accessories, in-stock ledge lounger furniture, PK grills, and special Fisco furniture orders. Special pricing on in-stock hot tubs and get 0% interest for 36 months on hot tubs the week of the sale only. Luxury Pool and Spa is also giving away a Fantasy Entice hot tub along with Pentair pool products during the sale. Luxury Pool Arkansas
ArkansasFootball.com.
What's going on, everyone? DJ Williams here with The Buzz, and as always, you got to make sure you tune in. We're going to make it work each and every day. Technical difficulties don't matter. Always a great time hanging out with us here on The Buzz. We still got a lot to talk about when it comes to Razorback baseball season in full swing. As you know, we're going to talk about that matchup against Missouri, a team that we should take care of business. But as always, got to show up and play. Also, Chris Alley is going to be joining us from Rock and Roll Sushi. People have a chance to somewhat win something. You got to make sure you tune in. You're going to be figuring it out just like we are. The Zone, where sports and entertainment come crashing together.
Now, back to Drive Time Sports, live from the Eat My Catfish studios, where there's only one thing Randy and Rick like better than talking sports, and that's biting into some fresh crawfish with all the fixings at any Eat My Catfish location. You've got Drive Time Sports locked in on the Buzz Radio Network. Here is Randy Rainwater.
Welcome back to Drive Time Sports. Here on the Buzz Radio.
See, you jumped in too early.
I wasn't ready.
You should have cleared your throat. And
I wasn't ready.
Hey, I'm here. You don't have to do this now. It's okay.
I blew that.
Okay.
So
all right.
Can
you imagine we've almost made it through this show? I hope we have had more than 13 listeners. I'll bet we have. I hope so.
All right, that one was Mike from Bryant.
Okay.
This one is from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line.
Yeah.
I took that UALR Leisure Science course.
Yeah. Leisure
Quote,
Science.
in parentheses, intro to golf. Did you have Marshall Davis as your instructor? Marshall would take us out, play golf. Man, that was a great course. We went to the Arnold Palmer driving range.
Oh, yeah. It was a great course. It was a golf course.
If you were wanting a sample, you went to the Arnold Palmer driving range.
I think in '77 we had the big flood where the golf ball in the middle of Arnold Palmer was flooded all the way up to it. Yeah,
it disappeared. What a great break between chemistry and calculus. I don't know about that. But
it's unfortunate that they closed the courses that were great courses like War Memorial and Heineman, which are right there next to Arnold Palmer. I mean, I don't understand it. That was some really great golf right there.
It broke my heart when they moved Richards Honda from off of Asher out to University.
Really?
That broke my heart.
That broke your heart.
Yeah, that was the original place. I mean, you go hang out and have such a good time.
How have you survived?
I don't know. I bought several motorcycles from there. All right, this from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. Bart, you know about this one? Lee Mayberry's daughter
coming to
signed
Arkansas.
with Arkansas to play basketball.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So,
didn't you start off at Tulsa?
Yes, and high. So he's had a couple of daughters.
Oh, okay.
Watson,
okay.
Yep, Watson Chapel. And so I'm trying to think when his first one came through, and because I think she played at Tulsa as well. But that's
Which
great.
is where Lee lives
Right.
and coaches high school basketball.
Yeah. So it's great to see. I think that kind of evolution to have him come back, and it was good. Lee looks like he could still play right now. Keeps himself in great shape, but his daughters are fantastic. They're defensively, offensively, you can tell he's worked with them, and they're super skilled. And so I'm glad to see Arkansas finally get a name that we know that's not international.
Yeah.
This new coach has a reputation for being a good recruiter.
Yes.
4 or 5 of her players have already gone in the transfer portal. I hope she can get some talent where her first year will be okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not great, but okay. And then I think she can build on that.
Do you think they will help her with some NIL this first?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's important.
Yes.
I think.
But how much, I don't know.
Right.
But yes, they will be included.
That was the promise that was made to her. Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
This again from our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line. When I was going to school, they would cancel classes only if heck froze over. So we went.
Yeah.
Just walking all through the snow uphill both ways.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. Had to really snow. So my first year at Arkansas was 76, 77. In December, early January of 77, Arkansas played Houston on a Saturday, Texas Tech on a Monday. It started snowing during the Houston game on Saturday and didn't stop snowing until about 2 o'clock that Monday afternoon. And so they called off classes. That Monday was supposed to be the first day of school, and they called off classes for 2 days. The president at the time was a guy named Charles Bishop. He said, we will never cancel classes for weather again, no matter what. Now, he's obviously gone. They do now, but that's interesting because back then that was the mentality. Even in public schools, it had to really be snowing because you lost that day. It means that was a day you had to go extra in the summer, and nobody wanted to do that.
No. This is our D3 Auto Sales Buzz text line from area code 315, which is New York. Rick.
Wow.
Where has Alyssa Orange gone? No longer see her on the local NBC station.
Yes. She left television to be more with her family is what I understand it, because I don't think she's moved. I just think she left television. And this was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I know 2 or 3 people locally that left TV and they're working for Walmart corporate now, or in Sam's
Well,
Club
I
and
know
all that.
I know several people that have done that too, including some of the news and sports people that have worked at affiliates in Northwest Arkansas. So, but I believe that's the case. I don't think she didn't move because her husband actually works with Hogs Plus, and so I think they still live there. But I think she decided to get out of TV. TV is a tough business because you're on at 6. You're on between 6 and 6:30, or up there. They have a sister station that's connected with them that they also do a 5 o'clock newscast. So Dan Scoff, their weather guy, is a good friend of mine, works at the same station. So he's got to be on at 5:15, 6:15, 10:15 every night. And so it's tough on family life. And a lot of those guys, if they get a chance, they'll go have dinner with their family and then come back to the station. But that means you're getting out late every night. And so for Alyssa, if she's wanting to spend more time with family, I can see where eventually that gets to you.
This from our D3 Auto Sales. If we're comparing University to Asher stories, we're at Frankie's Cafeteria until 1970.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. And we saw all 5 original Planet of the Apes movies at the UA4 1975.
Wait a minute. There can't be 5 originals. There can only be 1 original and then the sequels.
Well, when you rebrand, you can call it the 5 original, the original series.
I guess.
Because they rebranded it quite a few times.
Wow.
By the way, UA4 now, LaRon Sherman. I spent a lot of time at the UA4 right off of I-30. It's interesting seeing how it still thrives.
Thank you, Drew, for being here every day. We appreciate you. You're one of our 13. Hyman Park was great. On the green and 2 at 12 off the high fence every time.
One of my favorite courses.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to get some shirts that say Original 13 for all of the real good listeners. We get some Drive Time Sports Original 13.
You could probably go to a historical place and get those because they'd have them for the colonies. And you could,
That's right.
Oh, we make it look like that too with the flag and the circle. That's
right.
Yeah. See, that's how it works.
Oh, why did I?
Randy, what are you looking at the screen for? There's nothing
No,
on.
I just looked up here and now usually there's a clock.
But you know what? Gary is working in here, and just the fact that he is working in here.
He didn't mean for me to know what.
Making sure he doesn't fall.
That gives me confidence that tomorrow you're going to be okay, Randy.
I think your elbow hit the mouse and it minimized the next gen.
Oh, great.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. It's back.
Haven't you ever heard you never elbow the mouse?
It's back. Okay. All right. I probably
you can tell
should.
this is getting late in the show, can't you?
I probably should address this to Bart.
Okay.
Bart, do you remember the old Checkmate Club?
No. Oh, no.
Okay, I'll tell you a story. So
That's hilarious.
Butch Henry hired me. He was the sports information director. He hired me as the assistant. We came down to Little Rock first time we played for football on Friday night. It's like he took me to the Checkmate.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That is the only time I had ever been in that building.
Oh boy,
I know.
He took you to a good one.
No one remembers. You're the only one that remembers being inside. Everybody else.
I'm sitting there thinking, what in the world am I doing here?
That question was actually asked of me.
That's amazing.
I gave it to Bart instead. Says Randy, do you remember that?
We're going way
Yes,
back.
I do.
Randy could probably see my face.
Oh, that's like BJ's honky tonk.
Wow.
Oh, do you remember BJ's? Oh, yes, we do.
Bart, you're going to be more of a Planet Earth for your youth, correct? Or is that before you? Yeah.
Planet Earth. I don't know.
Joe's
that
Big
one.
Bamboo. I'm trying to think late 90s.
Yeah,
for you.
Joe's. Yeah, Joe's. Joe's was there.
I'm here to talk to both generations.
Yeah. That's right.
Randy, I would not have remembered that experience and had not thought about it since the time I was there.
I'm just happy knowing you know it. I can't believe you went there. That's
I think
amazing.
Roger just fell out of his chair, and David did too.
Did you go to Diego's also?
Oh boy.
I don't know that one.
All right, we got to say so long and good night. Thank goodness.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rick, for coming down.
Absolutely. What a
We
pleasure.
love having you here. Have a great rest of the night. So long, everybody.
The best seats in the game don't always require tickets. Sometimes all you need is a pair of earphones. And 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock.
If you have a passion for adventure and unmatched quality, then head to Honda of North Little Rock for the best lineup of quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. They have Honda's best models and will find the perfect ride just for you.